The Cats coming out late, maybe fired up inside the rooms. Anthony Hudson, as I say, a very good afternoon and welcome to you. We're looking forward to this one, aren't we?
Oh, we are. As you said before, it's an absolutely sensational day for footy, and as our colleague somewhere else would say, Rex Hunt, the old Richmond people would say on a day like today, if you can't play footy today, Coco, you can't play at all. It's just
yes.
a magnificent day. I know you're probably missing Rex, so I thought I'd say
Thanks,
that.
mate.
But
yeah, it's hard.
David King playing his 200th, a special mention for him and Sav Rocco. Sav gets to sit on the bench to start the day, but David King, what a great story has been, considering he wasn't drafted initially, came from the VFL, where I think he was playing reserves at that stage for Port. Great story for him. Massive day for Geelong, though, that's for sure. A loss here and would really put them on the back foot for the year.
Particularly with Collingwood coming up next weekend. As you saw, Stephen King won the toss. It was the reverse angle camera, so they're actually kicking to the right-hand side of your screen for the opening term. Colbert, Baird, Watt, the back half there for the Kangaroos, Robbins and Sinclair down there along with Brady Rawlings. And gee, I was just so impressed with John Baird last week. His game on Nick Riewoldt, one of the pivotal reasons behind the Kangaroos' victory. Before the bounce, Tiffany Cherry's boundary side for us this afternoon. You've got the good job today, Tiff. You're in the sunshine. Welcome.
I have, thank you, Clinton. It is a brilliant day down here. The crowd's been building steadily and pretty close to capacity, actually. Team-wise, I can tell you that Aaron Lord won't be taking his place in the side today. He has a hamstring strain. He wasn't out there for Port Melbourne, or for the Cats against Port Melbourne, so he won't be running out there against the Roos, but the boys pretty fine up to get a win.
Good on you, Tiff. Look forward to your comments today, and we're underway, and it's a good ruck duel to look out for. King and Porter, and it's the Cats getting the clearance. Kelly sending them inside 50. Riccardi paddling it near the boundary line with Chapman, and a boundary throw in 40 around from the Geelong goal. The Cats going under to the Bulldogs by 39 points last week. David Clark, the speedster. We chatted with his father, Russ, pre-game, which was nice to meet David Clark Sr. The Kangaroos last week beating the Saints by 26 points. In attack, Geelong a chance. Ling finding space, but it's Harding, the speedster for the Kangaroos. He was terrific in this corresponding match last year. Kicked 6 goals down here, and look at him go. Shows some speed through the middle. Open forward line, Petrie and Scarlett. Scarlett the good fist. Now Geelong, Kelly covering plenty of ground. Caught, good tackle. Kangaroos a chance. King, what a way it would be to start his 200th. The kick astray, and it's taken over for a boundary throw-in. Left forward pocket for the Kangaroos. Russ, have you got any matchups you want to tell us about?
Back to that Harris when he took off on the half-back flank there. And last year with Pagan, first bloke without pressure would have kicked it long, but he ran the ball up, got a couple of extra touches with the hands, and it's a stick difference between the two styles.
So they're in attack, the Roos. The Cats, through Ling, was on his wrong side, and he took on an age to get rid of the ball. In the end, Harding takes the mark, and he is going to be a danger man for Geelong. He destroyed them down here last year, and he started very well. He's a confidence player, and he's delivered to Morrell. Excellent there. So a good start by the Kangaroos. And Russell, I think most of the footy world has done the Kangaroos supporters and team a bit of a disservice in the pre-season. I think there is as good a chance as a number of teams to make the top 8.
Well, we spoke about that a couple of weeks ago on the footy show, Anthony. I mean, they're as good as any. I don't think they're the top 4 position, but anyone from 5 all the way down to they're as good as anyone on their day. And if they've got their best side, anything's possible.
I could swear your show was called Fox Footy League Teams, Hutto.
I thought it was, but obviously we've gone to grander scale now. More important matters, Morrell has shredded it. That is a great start for the Kangaroos, and Digby Morrell, who was terrific last week, and he continues on. He took 7 marks last week, kicked 2 goals, and 2 goals 3 in fact, so he'll be pretty happy to start not only taking that mark but kicking the goal more importantly.
Some early matchups. Enright's got Ling's got Simpson, Kelly's got Stevens, and they're obviously going to play man on man.
And Sanderson on Harding. Harding starting on the wing for the Kangaroos. I guess a move to just try and give him the feel of the ball early.
So the Kangaroos off to the positive start. And as Tiff mentioned, that crowd filling up nicely. You would fancy beyond the 20,000 mark. And as we'll reiterate, a beautiful day for it. Porter from the bounce. Ling through the middle. Hurries one to half forward. Gardner unable to control it. Emlyn. Crowd get excited when he goes near the footy, and the delivery is pretty good down for Kingsley. On the 50 at right half forward, Watt, his early opponent, will be set on his mark. Now a lead provided to the pocket by Gardner will be turned down. Kingsley going to have a deliberate approach. 3 goals in the season opener last week against the Bulldogs, coming off his 57-goal season in 2002. To the Hickey stand end, pops it up, misses to the near side, never a chance. Geelong's opening score is a behind. If you joined us late, the one change for the Cats, Mitchell White from the selected side today, coming in for the replacement of Cameron Mooney.
Big change, that one, and a big game too for Mitchell White. But this is Makepeace. Loves to dash out of defence. That's great delivery for Colbert, opening things up for the Roos. He's got Shannon Grant or Stevens this side of the ground.
They don't forget here.
No, they don't. He's been back here a number of times, and so far been back successfully. Has played well, and the Roos have won. Harvey carrying the ball. Motlop back in the team versus Gurgic, who takes a good mark. Well played, Gurgic. Did a respectable job last week when moved on to Nathan Brown, and he's got the early touch to boost his confidence. Oh, dangerous kick across the middle. Really made Chapman work for it. There's Roos swarming everywhere. Harvey linking up with Sinclair. And another handball over the top. The big man striding through his Porter. And goes for home, but just away to the left.
Unfortunately, he sprayed, but it was great work by David King attacking the ball, and particularly what someone like Chapman coming at the opposite direction, who really runs hard and straight at the ball. It was a really good effort.
And Clinton, we saw last week the Cats, a couple of terrible errors kicking across goal. They get out of jail that time.
Milburn's kick in, well, makes Corey work for it against Stevens. Scarlett in support. He's tied up and will have a bounce just inside the attacking 50-metre arc.
Russ, last week we noticed that Tom Harley's absence really stood out for the Cats, did it in defence, and he's not missing again today. Yeah,
well, he's a very important player to have back there because they were caught out short, and it's a big player to have back there.
Now over the shoulder. Free kick going the Kangaroos' way against Stephen King, pleading his case with Matthew James, working this match with Mark McKenzie and Sean Ryan. But it's Mark Porter, the former Blue. Just the 5 goals last season. Kicks from just inside the 50. Gives it a good ride, and that's a wonderful finish. Kangaroos get the start. 2-1-13, Geelong are behind.
We spoke about last week, Anthony, the kick-ins of the Geelong players. Once again, kicking in Scarlett, then just didn't hit the spot good enough, and Stevens was strong enough to stand up and bring the ball to the ground. It was a great effort by him.
Well, it's going to be a great battle, isn't it? King and Porter. Kelly starting on Simpson for the Cats in the middle. Ling and Joel Corey making up the Cats on ballers. Anthony Stevens and Robbins, along with Adam Simpson in the middle, helping out Mark Porter. Right start for the Kangaroos. Important centre clearance, this one for the Cats. Favoured Porter. Sanderson came through it, gave Corey a hip and shoulder. He rode that bump okay. Mitchell White, good body work on Colbert, getting the help from the crowd. Makepeace dribbling across the line. So over and out with the Kangaroos, 2 goals, 1, the Cats 1 behind. Makepeace watching Gary Ablett Jr. Kelly next to Stevens as King farms this one out. Robbins makes the steal. Looks like Robbins could be running with Joel Corey, who was perhaps the Cats' best on-baller last week, although he, like the others, had a few troubles with their disposal. The Roos have worked the ball up to the wing. A lot of players on the strip here from where this ball's being thrown in, all behind the throw-in, right across the ground. So there's plenty of open spaces when they move it forward. Sanderson and Rook still under pressure. Oh, he takes his chances. He's a bit lucky. Great trip, quick to move it on. Looks like he's had a haircut this week, Jared Rook, too, which helped for the commentators. Looked remarkably like Scarlett last week. Good direction of the kick into Kingsley. Wanted a free, didn't get it. Rawlings quick with a handball. Linking up with Colbert, spots Sinclair out of the corner of the eye. And Sinclair can run off half-back, providing some dash again for the Roos. Not much to go to. Had to hesitate. Hold things up. Brown in trouble, but the Roos able to keep it going. Terrific smother by Kelly. And then the fumble will disappoint him. Good hard work. Cleared a path for Milburn. No, it wasn't good hard work. He did grab him, and the umpire spotted it. Free kick Kangaroos way.
Although they are prepared to feed the ball off to one each other a little bit more this year, the Roos, you've got to make sure that you hit the spot, and if you do it so many times like they did then, if you keep pressure on them, they will come unstuck.
This is the quick Robbins. What's his delivery like towards the 50? The bounce astray for Simpson. Still harassing hard the Kangaroos, and this is a free kick given against Harding. And Rook will take it to the members' wing for Mitchell White, former Eagle. Let's hope he has an injury-free season. Up to Gary Ablett. That's nice. Now Kingsley leads to a pocket. Gardner goes long. Ablett waits. Geelong down by a couple of goals early. Now the lead is on, and that's perfect to Kingsley. Great delivery.
Great delivery. And his first touch of the game was a very good front and centre, and he got the ball out, and that's the second one. Makepeace has got to be really careful playing on Ablett, because Makepeace does like to zone off and really take off and back himself, which he does very, very well. But as we saw last week, young Mill kicked 4 goals on him, just over a quarter in a couple of minutes. So Ablett, you've got to really show him some respect, because he's very smart. His skills are very good.
And this man's skills, as we know, very good. Kent Kingsley re-signed over the off-season for a couple of years, tying him down here at Skilled Stadium till the end of 2004. And looking to kick Geelong's first goal this afternoon. That's the situation for him. You're looking into the Hickey stand end, and he's pushed it out to the right. So 2 behinds from set shots to start for Kent Kingsley. In the opening 10 minutes, he'll be disappointed by that return.
He would be disappointed. Just watching Baird knock over Graham or Scarlett, one of those blokes. He's a very aggressive young bloke, Baird.
Makepeace going very short. Stevens, they try and get some run going. He had options either way. Here's Makepeace continuing on. Ablett putting the pressure on. In the end, though, he's a bit slow to move. Could have turned it over. Robbins helps out, goes crashing to ground. Kelly with poise, links up with Riccardi. Finally, the Cats need to get one online, and Peter Riccardi is the man. First goal of the Cats, kicked by Peter Riccardi. And boy, Russ, they needed that.
They certainly did, Anthony. And the most important thing was that Makepeace, as we mentioned before, really does like to back himself and run with the footy. But if the bloke's in a worse position than what you are, and you feed it out to him, he's going to put plenty of pressure on you, as we saw here. If you continue to harass, keep the ball alive in the forward line. As we know, when Riccardi gets the ball, he rarely misses. So on the forward line, they've really got to keep pressure on the North Melbourne back line.
Peter Riccardi with the finish. Farewell to a couple of mates pre-game in that motorcade as Mensch and Scholl, Kilpatrick made their way around to the roars of approval of the local fans. Always a friendly atmosphere and environment when you come down to Skilled Stadium. Back in the centre, King getting the hand to it. Stevens sharking it for the Roos. Robbins, initial fumble, good recovery, but he makes his forwards work here. Morrell in the end doesn't go for it. Harvey sends it forward. Now Morrell can run onto it. Now peeling off his man was Sanderson. Risky because Harding's alone, but the ball won't reach him. And the free kick going Geelong's way. The advantage will not be paid. Some holding against Morrell. Boy, Sanderson was bold there, Russ, wasn't it?
Both of them. Morrell wasn't going to take a short step either, and we know Sanderson plays very hard also.
Graham for Scarlett. Drifted off his line. Thought he was told he's off. He touches it on the ground. Petrie stalking him. Could have almost had him. Catch should be able to clear. Enright for King. Risky one for Cameron. Ling is chopped off by Motlop.
I mean, that's a terrible kick. I mean, you work hard to get the footy and then you just cough it up like that.
Someone's in trouble for the Roos. It might be Shannon Grant.
It was off the ball. Daniel Motlop now, you would suggest too far out to score from here. Breeze not really a factor this afternoon. Goes to the lead of Morrell into the pocket. And it's going to be a tight angle for him, but he'll line up for his second goal, and Shannon Grant might be able to walk it off.
There's one thing about Morrell, he just won't stand like a monument. He'll keep working hard as he possibly can to present himself, which we just saw then. He just kept working, and he eventually ended up with the footy.
Impressive last season in his second year in the AFL. 24 goals from 19 matches. Played senior footy at West Perth in the WAFL before heading into the AFL, missing to the near side. On that occasion, extends the Kangaroos lead to an even goal. Goal umpires with the sunglasses this afternoon, and why not?
Well, if ever you're going to have them, it'll be today. Temperature in the mid-20s. A great day for watching footy. It might be even just a fraction hot to be playing, but no excuses, I guess, for the players today. A few of them wearing sunscreen. Just taking that extra precaution because, as I said, it is very warm. Johnson's got a big job today, David Johnson, playing on Brent Harvey. Goes out for Cameron Ling. The Cats having a little bit of trouble clearing the defensive area. So far we've seen in this game. Haven't been able to really generate the run they'd like. Chapman trying to provide that now. Gets Gardner with a lead on the wing, but he's going longer than that. Oh, it's a poor kick. Touched off it. And Colbert cleaning up. We won't hardly have to mention his name this afternoon. You'll hear it for yourself. Petrie goes down, and he's going to get 50. He's going to get 50, which will mean a certain goal. And I'm not sure about that one. The replay will tell whether or not the umpire was conned or whether there was genuine contact. Certainly, the Cats player Scala coming in was late. Let's have a look.
Well, he made two mistakes there. He was led to the footy, and Petrie took the mark, and then he made the second mistake by giving him a whack over the head, and it resulted. It's a certain lay down was there now goal.
Interesting to watch the replay, because where he hit him and where he moved his head in pain seemed to be two different places. But anyway, if you can do it, I guess why not? Drew Petrie to put it through for the Kangaroos. It was very impressive last week, and he's kicked the goal. The Kangaroos extend their lead. They've kicked 3-2 now, and the Cats 1-2.
Both things, both Morel and Petrie, two young fellas who've just got a huge appetite for footy, and they really do work hard. And as we see here, there's a, it's fair enough. Cop over the shoulder. So, but they both do really present themselves, and they work extremely hard. And coaches really love blokes who can kick goals, not only kick goals, but they really do work hard inside that offensive 50.
You just can't, as a defender, afford to give the umpire a chance to pay that, I guess, can you?
No, it was crude. I mean, one mistake, he got led into the footy, and the second mistake, Scarlett May was given a bit of a whack over the head.
Kangaroos by 2 goals. Changes either way. Stevens off for the Roos. Gardner off for the Cats. Harris and Spriggs the replacements as Geelong get the clearance. Mitchell White pops it up. Little push inside. Here's a go now. Oh, stealing it away as Harris. The handball coming from Gardner. And a little kick out wide for Colbert. Last line of defence. Drops it off for Rawlings. Now, feed the hand pass to Brent Harvey. Spriggs lurking. Harvey, well, got a strange old shepherd there from Motlop. They're mucking around with it. They might lose it. They will. Riccardi for Kingsley. White all alone at full forward, but it's coming back. And, well, the advantage not paid there, which
should have been an advantage, but that's the third or fourth time now we've seen the Kangaroo defenders mucking around the ball. First bloke without pressure should always kick the footy long.
And Mitchell White unguarded and just about dropping his own guard there on the nice little give by Riccardi, and Mitchell White will line up to try and kick the Cats' second goal. Local fans now not as fuming as much about that advantage, which wasn't paid by Matthew James, but he's got to make a call in a split second, and he deemed the advantage not there. Mitchell White now. Late call up for Cameron Mooney. Starts with a goal.
The difference between this week and last week is that the Geelong forwards are really putting an enormous amount of pressure on their men, on their backmen. Tackling, running, chasing, harassing, doing all those things. Whereas last week, the Doggies' backmen just ran up the ground uncontested and really set up forward, which made it very difficult for the Geelong backmen. But today we've seen a different, so far, a different result with the Geelong forwards putting extreme pressure on their opponents.
Sort of like Aaron Hamill does best when he's playing down
he certainly
forward.
Does. But they're giving them a second chance by just mucking around the footy. As I said before, first bloke without pressure should kick the ball long.
3-2 to 2-2 then. And the Cats get one back. King beaten by Porter down to Harris, and the Kangaroos into attack. Petrie with the lead. A good strong one too. And takes it. Morel's down there, Brown as well. Got the size edge on his opponent Milburn. Couldn't complete it. Corey. Here's Harding, ever dangerous. Simpson from the standing start. Always hard to get the accuracy in that situation. Across the face, Morel with tremendous courage, and Enright a bit perplexed with how Morel managed to come running in and take the mark.
That was really good play by Lee Harding. Actually, I watched last week's game, and there was a couple of occasions where he turned back into heavy traffic and had a shot instead of feeding off to a bloke in a better position. Today he did feed it off, and it looks as though they'll hopefully get a result.
2 goals, 3 last week. 1 goal, 1 so far for Digby Morel. Looks good off the boot. Great contact. It's a goal. And the Kangaroos continuing to hold Geelong at bay. The margin now at even 2 goals.
As I mentioned before about Lee Harding, that was I saw him last week about 4 or 5 times, turn back into heavy traffic and have a shot. Today, first option gave it out and resulting goal, which was great for the Roos.
Gee, there's always the comparisons about Morrell and Carey, isn't he? And that was Carey-like, leaping with courage into the pack and then backing himself. Not many others would. Banana from the boundary line. Look at the Cats fans. Miss. It didn't. And Digby just not overly exuberant with the celebration, but just a contented look about him. And a couple of goals in the opening 20 minutes. A good return. Kangaroos 4-2, Geelong 2-2. Back in the centre, good bounce for King and Porter. King perhaps, Chapman tied up. We'll do it again. Entertaining start to this match from Skilled Stadium.
It's going to be very important that both coaches use their interchange bench because it is warm out there and it is sunny.
Umpire McKenzie, those trio of the men in charge with the bounce, and Corey, well, they can go now. Ablett, 50 out, delivers wide. Kingsley's got it. Well, he's offered himself 3 times now, been given to it 3 times. Third shot at goal for Ken Kingsley, still looking for his first major.
Well, that was great play by Corey then. He could have gone inboard, but he chose to go the outside, which was the proper option. And as a resulting kick, we're going to see Kingsley have a shot for goal.
Rocker for Porter, 1 change. Gurgic for Graham, the other. All eyes on Kent Kingsley, right behind the kick. He's broken through.
It's good to see
Says
Corey.
thanks, Gary.
It's good to see Corey continue his good form from last week. He's one of the shining lights for the Geelong side last week, and he's very, very damaging in that centre square.
Margin of goal as we have another look at this clearance for the Cats. And it was Ablett who set up Kent Kingsley. Let's check in boundary side with Tiffany Cherry.
So Rocker's just run on for his 200th. Porter came off, and also Benny Graham's just come off, as well as Shannon Grant, who came off just before. He's getting some work done on his calves and hamstrings, so we'll keep an eye on him.
So plenty of changes.
David Clark
has gone
on
to
to Harding.
And Petrie in the ruck now, obviously with Porter off, and does the rucking and the roving, gets them forward. Gurgic has gone on to Morrell with Graham off the ground. Dangerous handball, turns it over. King, looming, Rocker. The 200 gamers combining, but not coming up with much. Motlop, who's dangerous, could have got a free for being held there. The umpire let it go. It's a 2-on-2 battle. Gardner favoured by the flight of the ball and takes the mark. He's got Milburn or a longer option to the wing. Looks like Spriggs running on it. Another crowd favourite down here at Skilled Stadium. Skilled Stadium. I forget which one it is.
They've changed their names more often than Prince.
Riccardi takes it anyway as Kingsley breaks to the left and then the right. He's been the Cats' prime mover up forward, the umpire said. In fact, it's Kelly's kick. He waits, and I wonder if he could make the distance. Doesn't try. Sets it up instead. Kingsley at the back, at the front. Johnson! Steve Johnson kicks his first of the afternoon. And the Cats getting back on track all of a sudden here at the old Caninia Park.
Well, that was great crumbing off the pack there, but he really should have had his defender inside him there, closest to where the action was. Unfortunately, he wasn't, and Johnson ended up with the footy and kicking the goal.
Right place at the right time from the scramble and just getting boot to ball. And the folks in the Hickey stand loved it. Tiff, some bad news for Cats fans potentially.
Well, Ben Graham, when he came off, went down the race just after I spoke to you. He has just come back out, but I asked the medical staff how he was, and I didn't get too good a look, so I'll just keep my eye on him.
That's rare for someone to give Tiff a bad look. 4-2 apiece, time on opening term. King and Petrie back in the setup. Game on here. It's going to be a beauty this afternoon. Harris does the roving there, shovels it forward. Will the bounce favour Morrell? Goes to ground. Gurgic, did he get in his back? No. Tied one another up. And meanwhile, just to the corner of the screen, Rook and King went down. There is Ben Graham.
Really stretches Geelong's defensive resources, Russell, doesn't it, with Graham off the ground?
Oh, it does. I mean, he's such an important player for them.
Morrell, that's worth, well, half a kick. Could be worth more. Harvey, clever. Rocket charging. Doesn't get there. Scarlett with courage. Terrific stuff. Ran off Motlop. Oh, the man in the middle, Milburn slipped at the inopportune time, but they've got numbers, but they spoil one another. Oh, the Cats fans frustrated there, and we'll have a bounce in the middle. It was set up for them. Great stuff by Scarlett.
It was a great, unbelievable, a beautiful kick by Harvey and stolen by Scarlett. It was unbelievable, and unfortunately they got the bad bounce, and now we've got a bounce up.
Now, you'd favour King in this situation. Couldn't find Corey. Robbins the steal. Clayton the delivery. Harding charging out. Good pick up on the half volley. Harvey goes without it. Rowley is there. Good handball for Kelly. He's been prominent. Sets up King and the Cats can go.
Away through the big man up to half forward. Johnson, he's surrounded by Rose. He just gave it up a fraction easily. Colbert for Morrell. Petrie streaming past. Looks up. He's got a couple of leads. One's from Motlop. Rocker comes now into the space. No one on the mark. Morrell takes full advantage and gets it in. Harding will find it tough to take this. The Geelong players were lining out. And it was Matthew Scarlett's number that came up.
Bed's just got to get back there and make a contest. He's run up and ground all over the place, but that's where he's got to be when there's a contest.
Corey breaks to the outer side. Not much on offer. Rook's managed to slip David King and get into the space. And Jared Rook looks up, sees Cameron Ling leading down the ground. Mitchell White, Ablett's down there. No one inside 50 apart from Riccardi and his man. Strange little short option. Mitchell White and Colbert. And the ball over the line. So, scores level after the Kangaroos made a very bright start here today. And have looked, well, they've been in front for most of the quarter, but the Cats have been able to draw level. King and Petrie and David King over the top. The third man up has been effective for the Kangaroos. Harris, Robbins. Kangaroos on the back foot. Simpson to half forward. Well, Corey made a little bit of a meal of it. Clark went for the man and left his on his own. Motlop's got the pace to get away. Blistering stuff from Daniel Motlop, and he's not content with just running away. He wants to finish off his work. Unfortunately, can't, and misses to the left. And Russell, he is an excitement machine, Daniel Motlop.
He is certainly an excitement machine. I mean, to be able to do that and take off and bounce and kick, unfortunately he sprayed it, but he is a certain talent.
Cats to try and get some run-up. Raleigh to Enright, defensive side of the members' wing. Makes Milburn wait with the hand pass. Milburn precise. Steve Johnson just in the field of play. Kingsley lurking. Coming forward now. The kick not good for him at the back bend. Couldn't control it. Costly. Ablett. Unguarded goal square. Scores level, missing to the left-hand side.
Ablett's carrying on from his good form from last week too, because he is an excitement machine. Ablett always seems to be in the right place. He's got plenty of nous, great skill and great courage, and unfortunately just sprayed a little bit wide.
Russell Green, three-time premiership player with the Hawks. Had a fine career at St Kilda as well before they told him midweek that he was changing teams. He's with us in special comments this afternoon as we watch this game coming here from Skilled Stadium in Geelong on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon. The Kangaroos and the Cats, two of the sides who we suspect will be somewhere in the middle range. Up to the wing. Milburn, good spoil. Steve Johnson running backwards, but got good support from Spriggs. Went for the short pass, but perhaps a handball would have been sufficed. Amazingly, the umpire paid the mark, even though the kick only probably travelled 3 or 4 metres. Joel Corey looking for Ablett at half forward. It wasn't great delivery, but Ablett judged it well, and he has been very dangerous early.
It's a compliment to him because Rawlings is playing on him, and he's had some big scalps in the last couple of games.
Probably wasn't his best decision, the kick from Ablett there. Colbert, again with the hoots of the crowd. Rawlings on the half volley, back to Colbert. Giving the crowd a good workout for their vocal cords. King, good strong overhead mark, and goal! Wasn't much on offer for him. Tough for Mitchell White here. Again, the decision-making letting the Cats down as they head inside.
That was an absolute nothing kick. It was two on one, and he just kicked it as long and as far as he possibly could, right to a Kangaroo defender.
Yeah, haven't looked a whole lot different to last week in that regards, have they? The Cats, as Sinclair takes a defensive side outer wing. 2.5 minutes remaining opening term. Scores knotted away. This is Harris. Down the line for Petrie. Kick and a half out from goal. Harding the lead to the pocket. In a wrestle with Sanderson. Keeps his feet. He'll kick the goal here. Wow, he's making himself work there, and he's taken it over almost for a try. Behind to the Kangaroos. I backed him in, Hutto, because he kicked 6 here last year, and as he kept his feet in that contest, you thought he was going to run onto it. Kangaroos by a point.
One thing about Lee Harding, you never quite know what's going to happen, do you? He's got unbelievable speed.
Let's label him an excitement machine as well.
Well, let's see how many we
if
can
he
find.
if he had the finishing skills, he'd be so damaging. I mean, he's quite a good player now, but if he could really finish off, he'd be absolutely something very good.
Scarlett up to the wing. King, there's a couple out there today, one from either side. And also, there's also Ling. And as you said last week, Clinton, there's Ling on the wing after combining with King. Here's Kelly. Oh, just brushed him off. Like it was a fly. Over the top to Ablett. Will he go for it this time? The crowd would like to. Got himself into trouble, but got himself out of trouble. And then finished off with a behind.
It was a great play by Kelly. Really backed himself, fended the fella off, and it was a great piece of play.
And if Ablett had have kicked that goal, I'm sure he would have been an excitement machine as well.
I was anticipating it. 4-4 apiece. Goals drying up. Excitement continuing. Sinclair for Stevens. Well, risky one for Colbert. Can Makepeace clean up? No. It's over for a boundary throw-in. Local fans getting involved. Troy Makepeace, that left shoulder taped up. Played all of their matches last year. Now Harris sharks the king. Hit out. Bounces just inside. Go on, Russ. I thought you were getting excited there. Boundary throw-in coming up.
He's an excitement machine, you know, Russ.
We'll ban that from now on. Important final minute here. It's been an arm wrestle this opening term. Can someone break away? Motlop in from the side. Good combination there. Clayton via Stevens. Kick just inside. And the poor old boundary umpire actually ran through the Kangaroo interchange players there. Almost tripped himself up and did well just to reach the contest. So throw in on 50 for the Kangaroos. Look at the terrace in the backdrop. Wonderful side. Probably 22, 23,000 in as Petrie down for Rocker. Motlop caught by King. Can he get the handball away for David King? Breaks by Rook. 360-degree turn for Rocker to the pocket. Boundary throw-in. Less than a minute to play.
He was looking for someone to feed off. Unfortunately, he didn't have anyone front and centre, so he had to go for the next option out to Rocker. When King's doing a sensational job in the ruck, you just wonder if he can go because he's been team tagged. He's got Porter and Petrie running with him, so it's going to be a big ask for King to sustain this.
And Rocker rucking that time, but Spriggs combining well with Milburn and now Raleigh, who was an inclusion during the week for the Cats after missing last year. Riccardi breaking clear. Mitchell White coming out of the square, shorter for Ablett, tough one together, but he did that so skillfully. Loves to put the ball on the turn. Ablett across the body this time. Third time lucky, no. He misses again. And Ablett coming up with no goals and 3 behinds from an opening term, which has been very promising.
Sinclair wasting no time. Harris over to Steve Johnson. Time running out in the opening term. Kangaroos wouldn't want to concede one here. Milburn. Crowd want a free. It's not there. Ball squirts out. Kelly impressive early. To the pocket. And a good ball for Mitchell White. Now, if it's a deliberate shot, no, he's going to square it back for Kelly. And he'll have a shot at goal after the siren, you would think, to try and cap a wonderful term for James Kelly.
It's a great piece of work by Kelly. Laid it off initially and then ran up, knew that the position that he was in, if he could get there, because Clayton didn't follow him through and he's ended up with a footy, so he deserves a goal for that piece of work.
And good thinking by Mitchell White. Saw where the boundary line was, knew that his angle would be tight, and setting up this young man for his 7th possession for the quarter. Can he kick the goal for Geelong? Coming back, not enough. They've wasted some chances. Kingsley with 2 set shots, Kelly with a set shot, Ablett with 3 shots at goal, albeit from passages of play. And the end result is Geelong, after conceding the opening couple of goals of the match, lead at quarter time by 2 points. Geelong 4-6-30, the Kangaroos 4-4-28. It looks like Ben Graham is fit and ready to go after making his way to the rooms earlier in the quarter. Some things to think about for Dean Laidley. It was a good start, but Geelong fought back, and at quarter time are in occupation of a 2-point lead here on Fox Footy. Here at Skilled Stadium, the Cats by a couple of points. Hunter to get us underway.
Well, Porter's had a rest and he's back in the ruck for the Kangaroos. And wins the tap too successfully down to Simpson. You'll see that a lot during the season. Milburn trying to track it back, did that successfully. King's pushed to the outer wing to provide a target. And Milburn finds him. Oh, the big fella hunted down, but had Scarlett in reserve. And now Milburn again. Quick kick for Kelly is good. James Kelly, who has... we saw with Gary Ablett and also Kent Kingsley not able to finish off all the good work done in the Geelong forward line in the first quarter. Johnson was a goal kicker. Steve Johnson sets it up. Riccardi got about a couple here. Might get a free kick. No, he won't.
There's great courage by Simpson then to fly to the footy to take that mark.
And the Kangaroos defenders showing great rapport again on the way out. Stevens. Rocker's made a good strong lead to the wing, but he goes longer than that into the space to allow Daniel Motlop to do his stuff. Raleigh tracking him to the line. Kelly so low to the ground as he gets it into Ling, and the Cats can run through the middle. Cameron Ling just hesitated for a moment, didn't have anything on offer. The switch is on to Sanderson through centre half back. Spots Ablett again, is surrounded by Roos. Will do well to get a 50-50 and then win the footy. Kelly to Mitchell White. The Cats players had all run forward. White could have given to Johnson. He thought, I can go all the way myself. And Mitchell White's kicked his second and says to the crowd, I'm back.
It's a great piece of work by Ablett. And great kick also. Kingsley doing the shepherding in the 10-yard square was a great effort. Give White a lot of confidence because was a very good player for the West Coast for a long period of time, and he just needs a couple of games under his belt, keep away from injuries, and he can be a very, very important player for this Cats side.
Just some of the leading possession winners from the first quarter. Ablett had 7, we saw that with Kelly, 6 to Corey, 5 possessions to Ling and Scarlett, and for the Kangaroos, 9 to Lee Colbert, 7 to Harris, 6 to Robbins and Harvey, and 4 to Makepeace and Motlop.
Mitchell White, the late call-up for Cameron Mooney, not taking his part in this match. And Geelong have kicked the last 3 goals of the game. They lead by 8 points. They might get the clearance, although Kelly is tied up by the former Docker, Lee Brown. We'll have a second bounce in the middle. David Spriggs getting the calf worked on. Tiffany Cherry, I believe you've got some more news on the Cats for us.
Well, as you just said, David Spriggs seems to be having a little bit of trouble with that left calf. Also, Ben Graham was pulled off about 10 minutes into the first quarter. He was dragged for an indiscretion. Bummer was talking to him quite sternly in the halftime, in the quarter break.
So he's fit and well, Ben Graham, Tiff. He's just off.
He is fit and well. He's just not too happy.
So he's fit, but he's not well.
He's not looking happy, is he, at all? It's a very glum Ben Graham. Russ, as we get a blood rule here, we've got time to actually talk about this. What do you do with a star who's... You've had words with it at the quarter-time break. Do you let him sulk there on the bench, or do you throw him back out into the middle of it?
Well, I think the only way to handle it personally was just get him back out there and get into the action and tell him exactly what to do, give him a couple of achievable goals and try and achieve those goals and get on with it and be a productive member of the side.
He did go down the race, though, so I guess the possibility that there's something wrong with him must still remain, but if they say he's okay.
But last week at the game last week against the Doggies, I mean, that happened for about half the game. He was on and off the whole time.
With cramp.
With cramp or back spasms or something like that.
Third effort to try and clear the centre square. King dominating the hit-outs. 10 himself, make it 11. Milburn, Kelly, and we're going to have another bounce here. And umpire Sean Ryan's earning his money this afternoon and bouncing it pretty well. We have a go at them if they're astray, but at the moment they've been pretty good.
They're lacking around the packs at the moment. Shannon Grant really hasn't had any influence on the game whatsoever, and he's really got a lift to give them an opportunity to push the ball forward. Didn't
touch the footy in the first quarter. Shannon Grant as King wins it down again. This is Simpson, though, sharking it. Tumbling it out wide. Harvey, the speedster, in front of Kelly. Running out of room. Wraps the kick around his body only as far as Rook, but had taken it out of bounds first. Right in front of the Victorian Premier, Steve Bracks, sitting there in the outer enjoying things. Now, the boundary umpire had called it out of bounds. Might have rescinded his decision. That was a strange one because he had clearly blown the whistle. Wells paid the mark, going for Shannon Grant, delivering it into the lead there. Motlop coming out, couldn't take it. Geelong to try and clear. Scarlett caught. Harding, Grant, Harvey, 48 out, finds an opening. Handball for Harding. Kangaroos lurking. Wells the finish. the day. Gets the finish. His first goal in league football. And you sense there might be a few more to come.
Geez, he played well last week when he came on. And that man we mentioned before, Shannon Grant, actually started, activated it, moved the ball, got a mark, moved it on. So they really do need Shannon moving and getting plenty of the footy.
You love the goalmouth presence here of Daniel Wells. Just knew where the goals were. Only had a split second after being given the hand pass in heavy traffic. Snapped it around his body. 2-point game.
And with Wells down there, along with Motlop and Harding, it is a dangerous trio for the Cats to try to counter. Margin back to 2 now then. King beaten by Porter. Goes in after it again, King, but Clayton with the steal. The Roos still can't break clear. Porter helps that cause. Enright off half back. He's got the job on Shannon Grant. Ling, interesting handball, found Clark. Corey, surrounded again by Roos. 2-on-1 here, and great work by Lee Colbert, who just read the fly of the ball. Crowd again, letting him know what they think. That's a poor kick. They'll love that. As Gurgic takes the mark, brings Corey back into the game. Goes very short to a 1-on-1. Johnson's got the break now. Ran around the ball first. Takes it, Chapman makes a lead at half forward. Goes for a taunt. Funny kick to Kingsley. Good body work from Kingsley. Initiated the contact, but then it was so solid that he went to ground. Sinclair, well played to Rawlings, and the Roos can run it out of the fence. Goes to Big Brown, who's on his own. Lee Brown, the man they call the Anvil, away onto his right. He's got Rocker leading out into the pocket. Wasn't a great kick. Cats should mark here. Enright left it behind. Gives Rocker an opportunity. Across to Shannon Grant on his wrong side. He waits. No one stops him. And he spots up with surgical accuracy. Digby Morrell out on the lead. And the Roos a chance to go in front. And the Cats standing around looking a little nonplussed.
I mean, that was great play once again by Shannon Grant. He knew he couldn't take possession of the ball. He just tapped it off to Rocker, got it back, and then laid it off. I mean, to Morrell. That's as we said before. I mean, he is one of the blokes, one of the most damaging players on the ground. If he can really lift, Enright's done all right on him so far, obviously, but the last couple of instances where ball's gone forward, he's been very good, Shannon Grant.
So here's Morrell. Kicked a couple of goals in the opening term. He also kicked a couple of points, and there's another one. In fact, 2 goals, 2, that is now for Digby Morrell. And so the Roos, like the Cats, not entirely accurate at that end of the ground.
Dean Laidley, pensive, as you would expect. A tight contest here as Sanderson drops it off wide for Enright in some space. And he's gone very wide for Johnson and has kicked it too far for him. Nothing Steve Johnson could do there out on the full. Rocker will bang the Roos back deep to full forward. Motlop the set, the fly and the mark. Well-timed leap by Daniel Motlop. There were enough Cats around, but they couldn't deny Shannon's younger brother. Eyes for the football at all time, Russell. Perfect training tape right there.
Perfect purchase on the footy as he took the mark. And it was interesting, Scarlett flying behind, didn't attempt to spoil the footy at all. I could be wrong, could be a bad position, but if someone's got his hands on like that, you really, if you can't at least get your hand to the ball, at least get your hand to their arm, make them spill the footy.
Talk about training tapes. Have they been watching Matthew Richardson training tapes or something at that end of the ground, Russell? Seem to be having trouble kicking the goal,
Yeah,
don't they?
certainly.
With apologies to Richo, who won't be watching because he's playing at the moment.
Hope he's going well.
King the target from the kick in. Morrell over the top. And at the back, he just couldn't break clear then. Scarlett. Clark, well wrapped up by Shannon Grant. Scarlett, I'm sure, happy to see it over the boundary line. Looked up and just saw kangaroo jumpers, left, right and centre.
That's great effort by Clayton, and he laid 2 tackles on. That's great work by the young fella.
Milburn's dropped off this contest. He's back on Rocker. Sanderson watching Harding and Gertie on Morrell. That's all to the right of screen, where the Kangaroos might be headed if they can clear it. They will be now. A free kick plucked out to Anthony Stevens.
Stevo's had a quiet day also. I mean, he's been such a tremendous player for such a long period of time. If he could also lift, we'll give him a huge bonus.
Kangaroos forwards all in a line down the middle. They break. Harding will be the target. Harvey chipped in and almost stopped it. Sanderson did well, cleared the path, and Johnson takes that pass, David, and delivers for Riccardi. Sinclair with a very late but effective spoil. Crowd thought it should have been a mark. Umpire disagreed, and Harvey, surprise, surprise, has broken for the wing, and he's on his own, and kicks again for Motlop, who is really working the Cats' defence over. Raleigh, his opponent now. Sinclair was involved in the start of it all, and he's kept running, and Jess Sinclair is almost within range. He has a pretty good kick. Looks like he might just be beyond him from here.
There's great running by Sinclair, but now if he's going to try and spot it now, it's going to be fairly difficult. You probably just have to have the opportunity to go long. All the holes are filled.
Had a great season last year, Jess Sinclair, after his career appeared to be going nowhere halfway through the season. King to mark for the Cats, which he does successfully. And the crowd cheer as the umpire pays the mark, and then Gurgic wanders out of defence. Up to the wing, the kick for Ling. Not quite as precise as he would have liked. And in the end, Cameron Ling just gets a little friendly bump from John Baird as he watches it disappear into the gutter.
It's interesting, I think David King's changed his boots, because I'm sure he, during the first quarter, slipped over 3 or 4 times.
He's coming back on the ground now for Digby Morrell as we get the gutter view there, Hutto, having a look at the ball being tossed back into play. Stevens burrowing away at the face of it as always. Ablett's handball read very well by Simpson. The old look away from Gary. Well, Simpson was looking. Now Wells in the middle. Oh, what wonderful poise for Harvey. Boomers away. 55 out. Good vision. Kick not good. Rocker with time. What's Sav's finish like in his 200? Not good. Just enough to give the Kangaroos the lead by a point.
Just getting back to Wells' hands in, they were very good. He just held the ball long enough to feed it off to Harvey. I mean, he has got some very, very special skills.
Ablett looking away with his handball, and he should have looked. He didn't see Simpson was there.
So the ball back in the hands of Darren Milburn, with Ben Graham off the ground. He's the Cats' man to bring it back into play. Oh, they're a little flat-footed here. The releasing handball was good because it allowed Chapman to get away. Kings pushed forward to half forward, and he takes the mark. Well done. He's working really hard around the ground for Geelong today to provide a target. Mitchell White, a bullet on the bounce. Kingsley again tries to shrug Shannon Watt. He's found that hasn't been all that easy this afternoon. Watt gets it over the line, which was his main target. Kingsley climbs to his feet and handballs the ball back to the umpire. There's the tackle stat, Russell. 14 to the Kangaroos and 8 to Geelong.
That's surprising, but obviously that they are the stats, but the Geelong boys have been working exceptionally hard. Another bloke who should lift, or hopefully lift, is Chapman for the Cats. I mean, he was very good last week against the Dogs, but as of so far today, he's only had about 3 or 4 touches. And there's another man, he must have something wrong with his back, because obviously he would be out there otherwise. Ben Graham, because he's such a very important player for them up there.
Well, the Cats in attack here. Rawlings going backwards. Hurried kick from Simpson. He's an accumulator. He and Harvey starting to find the footy, which is a good sign for the Roos. Shannon Grant's recovered, but that one comes from his boot.
That's unfortunate, but at least he was attacking the footy. He wasn't caught behind. At least he's trying to push up forward and do the right thing.
A lucky break for the Cats. The umpire saying it wasn't the required distance. Chapman winds up into this one. It's a big kick. It's not online, though. Lucky to score. Does that just a behind, and once again we're all tied up. Approaching the halfway stage of the second quarter. Anthony Hudson alongside Clinton Gribus and Triple Premiership player Russell Green this afternoon, with Tiffany Cherry on the boundary line, and the Kangaroos slowly working their way out of defence.
Sinclair feeding it for Watt. Cats still zoning up from this second kick, so Watt forced to drive it long to a contest, and wow, good work going through Petrie. Nice strong hands. You sensed with King lurking, it might be a fist down to the Cat Crummers, but Petrie did well. Now feeds the running Makepeace. Goes the required distance for Anthony Stevens. He'll go down the line for the running Makepeace again. Bumps into Enright. Ball spills free, and Enright slaps it over the boundary line for a throw-in on the outer wing.
I mean, King, as I mentioned before, I mean, he's worked tirelessly right through this first quarter and up to date with this quarter. He must have something up the sleeve, because you wouldn't want him to run out of legs.
Boundary throw-in was a stray, made the ruckman work. Steve Johnson for Chapman. Can Geelong get some run? Chapman towards Riccardi, couldn't control it. Here's David Clark. Long ball to half forward. Now Mitchell White won't get there. Kingsley caught behind his opponent. Watt. Now Watt just sees it over. Deliberately. Kingsley to get the free kick. 60 metres out. What did you think, Russ?
Well, I mean, the way they've been paying him, yes, you would pay the free kick. But as we all saw, I mean, he hardly had any time to, if you turn back, it's just going to turn straight back into trouble.
Kingsley pops it up. Can someone pluck a mark? White from behind the fist down. Missed Rook with the tackle on King. Riccardi caught. High ball to the goal square. Roos with numbers. Tough one for Sinclair. Reads it well with the breeze. Kangaroos can look to clear. Sinclair has to slow it down. Bereft of options. Centres it for Porter. Good delivery. Porter marks centre half back. 9 minutes before half-time. Goals at a premium. 2 Kangaroos on the outer side. Rawlings. Sinclair riding shotgun to provide the shepherd. Rawlings with 3. 4 bounces. 5. Can keep on going. 50 out. Rawlings unloads. Goal of the day! Sensational stuff by Brady Rawlings. A touch of Phil Manasseh about that, as he had 5 bounces down the outer wing. Sinclair providing the shepherd, and what a wonderful finish. Rawlings with the goal. The Kangaroos are on top.
I mean, don't you really love it when you see a bloke back himself? He had support there by Sinclair. He would have been talking through the process. Got within 50, thought, I might as well have a crack at this here. But it all started back here. When the ball should have been fed out to Gardner. We had Riccardi have a shot, should have fed it out front and centre. Ball's ended up down in the back pocket and it's rebounded. If he'd fed the ball out to Gardner initially, it could have been, it's a 2-goal turnaround.
Inspirational stuff from Brady Rawlings, who is making his own stamp on the game now. Apart from just being the brother of Jade, of course, a successful defender come forward for the Hawks. He gets the footy again and kicks this one a little wider, different target this time, but he found it anyway, the boundary line, and the Roos can set up. Shannon Grant copped a blow earlier, but has been dangerous, been watched pretty well though by Corey Enright for the Cats. King continuing to ruck against Porter. Rook, who's watching King, is just behind. Here's Chapman trying to come into the game. Clears the path for Enright. He breaks clear. Good play by the Cats. Raleigh to Ling, who's found himself on his right boot a lot today. Goes for Riccardi versus Sinclair. Sinclair some important touches. Mitchell White's having his best game probably ever for the Cats. Up to full forward. A tough one to battle for. Good work from Kent Kingsley, but excellent work from Shannon White. The old gang tackle that time, and they made sure that Kingsley was over the line as we get down to Tiffany Cherry.
Guys, it looks like Ben Graham is still paying his time in purgatory. They've had numerous changes and he's still sitting on the bench, hasn't received any treatment from the medical staff, as David Clark just comes back from down the race as well.
Well, you talked about the ruck situation. Ben Graham has been a backup ruckman with no Cameron Mooney in the team. I really do wonder what's going on. Meantime, Kelly snaps another behind for the Cats.
King is going to have some relief shortly because it's just a huge performance to be out in these conditions. 22, 23 degrees. It's sunny. He would be sapped of energy. He's got a huge heart, but he will have to have some support. And Ben Graham could be the person to support.
That's the point, isn't it? I mean, he is used to rucking for 95% of a game, but on a hot day like today, it must be extremely tough.
Sinclair for Baird with the Kangaroos lead trimmed back to 5 points. Now Adam Simpson on the long lead. Petrie. Was he off? He was. Onto the left. Milburn about to get in. Petrie to half forward. Rockers 4 deep. Cats with numbers. Rook. Enright. Scarlett. Now they can go. Scarlett, good vision. Mitchell White in space. Half forward. 2 kicks out from goal. Kingsley on the lead. Goes to him. 1 out with 1. Unable to take it at the back. Baird can steady. Go to the centre corridor for Colbert. From behind Enright the fist. Timely. Riccardi goes without it. Ties up Sinclair. Umpire Ryan calling for a bounce. Attacking side of the middle for the Kangaroos.
Good to play. Good defensive play by Enright. If you can't mark the ball, whack it forward, which he did.
I think the Cats just in attack. King for Corey. Partially smothered there by Sinclair. Left it for Baird, charging out of defence. Like a general down there for Petrie. Can he trap it on the bounce? Nice one for Shannon Grant. Rocker or Harding, the 2 targets. Harding the crumbs. He'll finish it this time, Hutto. The speedster goes all the way. Lee Harding first, and they open up an 11-point lead in the context of a tightly fought game. A bit of an advantage.
It is a huge advantage, but he was so explosive out of the blocks here, as we can see here, front and centre, gets the footy, falls favourably. Good, Wells helping him out there, and bang, straight through the middle. He's just so explosive. But I tell you what, your heart's always in your mouth when he does have a shot for goal.
So the Roos, with some clever football, have taken a nice little break here. As we mentioned, a low-scoring game. They've been more effective going forward. They've not always been accurate. Now Geelong, an off-balance Sanderson, who's Harding's direct opponent. Baird, again, is the marshal in defence for the Kangaroos, and ensures there's a bounce.
And that was a selfless act once again. I mean, he just throws himself in the line of the footy all the time. That was a great performance.
Now Ben Graham looks down below as if he might be getting ready to get back into the action. We'll get back to that in a moment. Meantime, King with a potentially productive palm down. White, Ablett again was lurking, but Jess Sinclair, who's was great last year when they played in this late in the year against the Cats down here, has been terrific again today. Chapman shrugged one tackle, couldn't shrug the second, got a high one. Perhaps a little fortunate. He's away now. The umpire might make him come back. The Kangaroos have gone down in numbers in defence, so Geelong will find it difficult to pierce through here. There's the high contact. So Chapman forced to go short, and Geelong might have to do that to make an incursion into this defence. Oh, Gurgit, the crowd could see it coming. That was holding the ball, umpire. I don't know what was going on there. Stevens got the handball away. Petrie has been great. Blindly kicks it aimlessly to the wing, but it wasn't a bad kick as it turned out. Now the Cats get it though. Corey. Cats taking a while to dispose of it. I guess at least they're not rushing. Milburn eventually, after telegraphing, does handball. Chapman goes long. They need someone to stand up and take it on.
Petrie's kick wasn't disciplined, so did carry some distance. I mean, it was a low percentage kick, and as we can see, it's been turned over, and now that McCarty's going to have a shot for goal.
Looks like Gardner's coming from the ground, and Graham will come back on for the Cats. Peter Riccardi, you can see the task ahead of him on the wrong side. Still, he kicks off his left. He trusts his left foot. It's kicked 2 goals today. And the Cats get a desperately needed goal, their second of the second term.
It's so important that when you do come out of back, unless you're under extreme pressure, which Petrie wasn't then, you've really got to do something a little bit better with the footy rather than just blaze it, particularly with a torpedo. Rather kick it long to the boundary line.
Shaping up as being a terrific afternoon. They have played some tight ones, these two clubs. 3 single-figure margins since 1999. At the moment, we're in that territory. The Kangaroos by 5 points as Peter Riccardi celebrates with Kent Kingsley. As I mentioned, second goal for Riccardi. Ben Graham is back. We'll see what impact he will have. Centre half forward, his position at the moment. King continuing to ruck against Petrie. Palms it down again. Enright held out of it by Grant. Clayton can't control it. This is Ablett caught by Brown. A second bounce in the middle.
Looks as though Baird and Milburn are both playing loose men in defence for their respective sides.
Gurgic running off. Steve Johnson, the replacement. Over the top, Motlop clever. Bounce important, Chapman. Weaves by 3 Roos. Delivers to Riccardi on a long lead. He's got it. We know he's a prodigious kick. Will go from 51. Will go long, top of the goal square. Chance Kelly. Good defensive work, John Baird. Continuing in this quarter from his wonderful game last week. Concedes the behind, and the margin is now 4 points.
Troy Makepeace going very short. Out to Baird, who looks so comfortable at the level, belying the fact that it's only his second season. Shannon Grant. The Roos just on the back foot at the moment after the Cats kicked the last goal.
This is where they get themselves into trouble, when they hold on to the footy too long, just chip and chip and chip.
I guess it's the Laidley way as compared to the Pagan way. Up to the wing, it was a long kick. And Shane Clayton able to run on. and did that with absolute ease. He's got a couple going past. Wells almost got in his road in the end. Forced him off balance, but Harding read it. It was a mark, was it? Yes, it was. There seemed to be some confusion. Lee Harding able to go back, and he's a little better when he has the time to compose himself and have a set shot at goal. But as Russell says, when it comes to Lee Harding shooting at goal, who knows? We won't make the same mistake that we did earlier by putting it in the book just yet.
He's going to have to kick it left to right. He should aim for that left goal post, because most have been pulling away to the right-hand side.
Well, there's the angle. There's none to speak of. There it is again. Anyone would think there's a construction site or something going on here at Skilled Stadium.
The breeze is pushing across that pocket, so you really do have to kick from left to right.
Oh, Cats quick to bring it back. Milburn will have to get them out of trouble here. No immediate option for Ling. Now there is. Still, it's dangerous. Riley able to take it, and the Cats should be able to move it away now.
Margin 4 points. You see the time remaining in the first half. King on a long lead, expending some more energy. Clayton now sends the Roos inside 50. Harding again, chopping it off Ramley, but a whistle and a Kangaroos free, and it's Harding's against Matthew Scarlett, who has to bite his tongue.
Let's see if he's learned from his last kick. So it's more or less now the wind's just blowing straight into his face, so he's just virtually just got to kick it hard and straight.
There's the contact from Scarlett, and almost as though he knew, he just tried to draw that right arm away after making contact with the 21-year-old, who knows this way well, was playing with the Geelong Falcons in the TAC Cup, played in the Cats VFL team in 2000 before making his way to the Murray Kangaroos, and now onto the senior list. And this time Russell Green, he has learned from past mistakes. Harding's kicked his second, and the Kangaroos are back out by 10 points in the shadows of half-time.
That was an absolute perfect kick, gave himself plenty of room, went back in 7 or 8 step run in, and he kicked it dead straight, kicked right through the flight of the ball. As we see the indiscretion here from Scarlett, and yeah, there certainly was one a bit high. Nothing too ferocious, but as we see the kick here, kick through the line of the footy, straight as an arrow. Obviously learnt from the kick prior.
2 goals for the quarter then for Lee Harding. And the Kangaroos 8-7, lead Geelong 6-9. The margin is 10. King continues to battle his opponent, this time Petrie. Palmed it down with purpose. Good kick from Ling to half forward Johnson. Kept control of the footy, didn't have a lot in support, did it on his own until he found the body of Petrie in the road. Rook, lovely gift to Enright. He wanted to get under the right boot. Back to Rook in a little bit of unfamiliar territory. Jared Rook kicks like a defender. Riccardi in the end conceding the behind, as otherwise Sinclair would have taken the mark.
Makepeace shorts it into the back pocket for Sinclair. Kangaroos lead is 9 points. Colbert, listen to them. I don't remember the 105 good games he played for the club. Goes short to half back for Clayton. Less than 90 seconds to play. Now to the centre corridor for Makepeace in space. Can go here. They've had a bit of run through midfield. Makepeace runs his full quota. Goes for Harris in front of Chapman, who tests the cut and the tape around his head. Minute to play. Another one here would be vital. The delivery for Rocker coming out. Couldn't control it. Wells finds an opening. Steadies. Blazes away. Out on the full.
He has the ability to pick the ball up, bending over and explode like Andrew McLeod. It's a real gift.
He's an EM, isn't he?
He is. For those that have just joined us, we should say that is an excitement machine, even though that word was going to be banned. I think Daniel Wells qualifies.
Yeah, the phrase that pays for him. Sanderson to bring it back into play. 9 points the Kangaroo lead. Long ball to a contest. King, the giant of a man, standing tall for the Cats in this match. Simpson caught. Scarlett the tackle. And time running out for Geelong to try and score a goal in this second term. They've kicked 2 goals, 4 have had their chances. The Kangaroos making the most of their opportunities with 4 goals, 3 in this second quarter. The lead 9 points, half a minute to go, still time. Simpson drives it to the pocket, the bounce eludes Harris and Spriggs. Rowley sees it over, and this is dangerous. Russell Green, 21 seconds before half time. A Kangaroo goal would open up the biggest lead of the match.
It is important that Geelong put extreme pressure on here in the back 50. Everyone have a man, no one free. Scarlett's free.
Now, King's been controlling the ruck. Rocker wins this one. Stevens caught. Corey, good tackle. And they may have seen off the Kangaroo charge here. They should trap it in, hand it to the umpire slowly. And there might not be time for the Kangaroos. And you'd fancy there won't be. They used up those last 20 seconds well there. And at half-time, this match is still well and truly up for grabs. The Kangaroos kicked the opening couple of goals of the game. Geelong worked their way back, had a 2-point lead at quarter time, but at half-time, it's the Kangaroos leading by 9 points. That's the situation, 8-7-55. Lead Geelong 16-46 in King and Rocker's 200th game for the Kangaroos. We'll get Russell Green's thoughts in a moment in our half-time show. The Roos by 9 points. On the winners, 7:30. Hutto, big game here. Kangaroos by 9 points. The second half set to unfold.
Porter and King will be the combatants as the second half gets underway. Maybe King with the touch. The important thing, though, the takeaway to Simpson to centre half forward. Morrell, who started the first quarter brilliantly. Oh, and over to Harvey. Harvey striding through. Not a great kick. In fact, a poor result, really. He's normally so good on the run that Brent Harvey lets himself down that time.
We spoke about the finishing skills. It's so important to nail those goals because it would have been a very, very handy one to get so early on in the quarter.
8-8, play 6-10. Early stages in the third. Rowley in the back pocket. Good to have you with us right around Australia, live and exclusive on Fox Footy. And all of the replays from this weekend's matches coming up. Rowley to half back to a contest. Rocker, can he get involved? Would have liked to have taken that for his confidence. Corey working feverishly near the boundary line. Oh, King. It was boys against men stuff there, wasn't it? And it might set Geelong up here because Clark goes to the middle. This is Rook. Look out, Simpson closing. Off to Cameron Ling. Good build up this. Will he go long to Kingsley? Does. Kingsley in a wrestle, holding out his man. Can't take it. Kelly goes to ground. Sinclair under the pump. Risky ball for Rawlings. Back to Sinclair, running the wrong way. Back further they go. Colbert. Oh, drawing the jeers of derision from the crowd, and now their cheers. It's over for a boundary throw-in.
Actually, it's the only thing he could have done because when he looked up and looked in the direction he was going to kick, those blue and white hoops there. So he did the actual thing, a very intelligent, professional kick.
Obviously, the first couple of goals, absolutely vital. If they go the Kangaroos' way, well, it would be a very handy break. Simpson sends it out. Cats still in attack. Chapman desperate. Corey on 50. Ling hurries a high ball towards the pocket. 2-on-1. Roos with numbers. Kelly a chance. Can he get there off the ground? Behind.
Well, there's plenty of pressure down there. I mean, unfortunately, Simo dropped, the ball spilt, and unfortunately the Geelong player couldn't take advantage and score a goal. As we see here,
courage from Simpson.
It was. I mean, he's got tremendous courage. It just goes without saying.
So often Makepeace chooses to bring the ball in himself, and this time Sinclair's kick is very wide, made Morrell work hard for it. So did Joel Corey, and the ball over and out. So Ben Graham back on the ground at the start of this second half. He's on Petrie at the other end of the ground. King and Porter still going at it in the ruck. Neither getting a touch to that one. Spriggs deftly down. Ling's been busy in the quarter, again bringing a rook into the game. And now David Clark finishing not normally his strong suit. It wasn't then, but he backed up his work pretty well. Then dispossessed, but he kept on fighting. Sinclair was stalking and brilliantly came out of defence with a footy. Teaming up with Grant and now Baird, who kept on running. And the Roos sharing it around. Clayton up to half forward. Petrie from behind Graham. Did well, Ben Graham. Released the handball. Harvey, though, gets away from Spriggs. Good shepherd from Morrell. Harvey tried to apply the no-look. His handball no good. Put Wells under the pump. Spriggs coming through. And now the Cats away off half-back. Milburn and Enright. And here go Geelong along the wing. Or do they?
Well, they might know. Sinclair with the steal. Turnover. Costly, perhaps. Sinclair for Robbins. Wells wants it long. Robbins goes to Stevens. He's a fraction too far out. Has Morrell and Wells downfield pleading for it. Goes to Shannon Grant. And that's good stuff. Oh, that's going to be 50. Is it? No, a dive. They don't dive in the AFL, do they, Russ?
No, don't, only in soccer, mate. Now, just chipping the ball, I mean, we've seen younger Clark's one up here and down here. Chipping the footy, I mean, you've really got to hit the spot. If you don't hit the spot, you're in real trouble. And what happens, it sets up now. There's been a rebound. Sinclair grabbed it. It's off to Steve-O. And Shannon Grant has now got it. There's maybe a little bit of a touch. But when you're coming out of your defensive 50, you just got to make so sure that you do lay the ball off in the correct manner. If in doubt, kick the ball long, but never chip.
This for the biggest lead of the game. You're watching it from the reverse angle. Not coming back enough for Shannon Grant. And the margin is 10 points. Coming to a cinema near you, Shannon Grant and Damien Hardwick starring it.
That's the second one now. Harvey missing one and Shannon Grant. Both really, their bread and butter. They should nail those. It's giving Geelong an opportunity to stay in the game.
Well, Ben Graham back at fullback after Milburn did the honours in the first half. Gets the whistle from the umpire. Now the umpire calls play on as Graham goes searching for King and Scarlett, the targets. At the back again, Sinclair waiting for the Petrie handball. And Clayton's pretty good at hurting the opposition in this situation. Clayton long to the square. Morrell, the man most likely. Slipping through the fingers of Brett Harvey at the back. And the ball again is out of bounds.
It's pressure time here. The Roos are really applying the screws at the moment. And the Geelong boys just got to really tighten up a little bit. There's too many rude blokes running around by themselves.
Rocker able to rest the ball down. Ling, an interesting handball. Oh, Scarlett delayed his kick in the end. Did well for Chapman. The Cats going down in numbers. Through centre half-back. Hesitation from Rock. Better watch out. He was being mown down by Wells. As a result, the kick wasn't great. And once again, this Kangaroos defence teaming up beautifully. Free kick, holding the ball. Now it's going to come back. And this will disappoint the crowd. It's coming back to their favourite man, Lee Colbert.
He drops it off for Ben. On half-back has room to run. 2 bounces. Inside the centre square. Delivers for Rocker. 1, 2 grabs. Big Sab's got it. Too far out to score, even for his thumping boot. There's Harding on the lead. Rocker goes towards Harvey and Morrell. Morrell the fist. Can Grant run onto it? No, Ling gets there first. Brushes aside Robbins. Well done. Graham, can he get involved? Spriggs. Enright. Cats out of danger. Scarlett. Man with the trainers in the background railing. Scarlett to Ablett. Takes on his man. Beats him. Gary Ablett. To bring the crowd to raptures. Kick smothered. Oh, sensational defence by Makepeace. We said at half-time they've wasted chances, Geelong. That trend continuing. Graham on the wing. Game heating up now. Rook goes short. Good delivery. Mitchell White. Open forward line. To Ablett again. Has to take it. Does. Is he too far out at 52? As Kingsley calling for it in the goal square. Man on the mark is Rawlings. There's Kingsley. And Ablett's now going to back himself in. His confidence. Russell Green no doubt down. 3 behinds in the first quarter. Kick at goal smothered there.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's just learned from his mistake. He'd be really wanting to make amends for that poor kick before. But, I mean, he knows his ground pretty well. Hopefully he'll go left to right, and he should make the distance if he kicks it accurately.
On the 50. He's got it. Gary Jr.'s pumped. Cats get the all-important first goal of the second half. And the margin is back to 4 points. Let's check the injury watch with Tiffany Cherry.
James Riley went down in the centre of the ground and the trainers ran out to him. It looked like he'd severely rolled his ankle. He's gone up the race and all the medical staff are up there as well.
Young Ablett got the opportunity very shortly after that mess up and...
Just saw it in the corner of the picture there, the injury for James Riley.
Well, Ablett is a very fine player. Although it's only his second year, he really does show signs well beyond his years. He's a very talented player. And to make amends for that one was a really good kick. He really backed himself, went left to right and nailed it right through the middle.
1 goal, 3 and a couple of other misses. Another look at that injury for James Riley, and the contest came flying in. He was off balance, and that was the roll. It can be so simple, as we saw last night with Josh Franco and last week with Chris Grant. Let's hope the injury not as bad for James Riley as those two. An ankle was the early prognosis. Good work for the Cats out of the middle, although a bouncing ball, a wandering ball, really sets Briggs up there. Enright has to go in and try and make amends and can't. And the Cats wasting opportunity to get a centre break as the Kangaroos make a change with 2 of their more exciting players, Wells and Motlop. One sitting down, one getting back into the action. Porter with the secondary touch that time, and a fumble from Clark let Stevens in. Robbins threw it away. Crowd thought so anyway. Simpson somehow manufactured a handball. Stevens' kick was run down and the ball over and out. And our man down below there, that another vocal supporter, continues to urge his team on in an interesting fashion. He's come on Geelong, not sure if it's encouraging or scolding, but anyway, he's making some noise. 7-11-53 to 8-9-57. The margin is back to 4. Porter straight into the hands and through the hands of Enright, and we'll do it all again.
Anthony Stevens has just come off the ground. David King has come back on.
Heard it again, Hutto. He hasn't got much in the repertoire, that fan.
No, just come on Geelong. Come on the Cats, he says, as King, the third man up, gets that one over the line. Stephen King, we've touched on it numerous times today.
Come on, Hutto.
Where did that one come from? It's speechless as King drives the ball. I think someone's worked out where the effects mic is. That's dangerous. Clayton working his way through centre half forward. He too's looking dangerous. Knows where the goals are, but just can't seem to find them at the moment.
Great work off the ball by Petrie then. Opened up the play for Clayton to be able to gather the footy. And unfortunately, there must be a magnet on that left point post because most of the balls have been pushed right across there.
Sanderson to bring it back into play. Anthony's off scouring to try and find that mic. Sanderson forward, back, and now to our broadcast side. King, Porter from behind Graham. Won it down. Clark tied up by Robbins. Shovels it out for Spriggs. Has a step on Motlop, that's all, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Beneath the Jack Jennings stand. Good to see young David Spriggs back in action after missing all of last year. And came back, kicked a goal on his return against the Bulldogs last week. The Cats losing that match by 39 points. King wins it down. Brook was shepherded out of it by Robbins, who feeds the handball for Morrell. Now Grant. 55 out, pops it up to the hot spot. Tough one. Petrie perhaps. Oh, good work, Sanderson. Always steady down there. The best and fairest from a couple of years ago, going out wide for Enright. Good ball for Spriggs in space on half-back outer side. Chapman leading to space near the boundary line against Baird. Baird the fist. Chapman, can he keep it in? Taken over. And we'll have a boundary throw in. True wing position, outer side. Kangaroos by 5 points.
Spriggs in space. That sounds like an old version of Pigs in Space, doesn't it?
There's Sanderson again down back.
Sorry, Russell.
I just hope they leave Spriggs on the ground. He's running with Simpson at the moment, but he's got a huge aerobic capacity. He does something like a 17.2 VO2 max test. He's a super athlete.
We got subtitles.
Yes. You got past me there, Russell, that's for sure. I'm sure Harvey's pretty quick over that journey as well. They knew what the journey was. Up to the middle, Graham and Ablett combining. Milburn mopping up for the Cats. He spots the lead from Clark. He just couldn't hit the target. Sinclair's been so damaging across half-back again this afternoon. He's been wonderful for the Roos. He gave Spriggs a chance there, though, and Spriggs took that, much to the delight of the fans down in front of us here. Just waiting for that call. Didn't get any special comments there from the super coach below us. 58 plays 53. Midway through the third quarter. Enjoyable day in the sunshine from Skilled Stadium. For one team at least at the end of the day. Corey over the top. And a bounce required.
Spriggs is now pushed back onto Harvey.
Harvey likes to just roam all over the ground as Mitchell White comes off for the Cats, is replaced by Steve Johnson. So he comes straight into the play, Johnson, and then runs straight into the Kangaroos and gave it up to one of them, Harvey. Good mark by Rook. Under pressure from David King. He was thinking about going. Kick is designed here for Johnson, but Sinclair, well, you think they're kicking to him. He's reading so many of the Cats' delivery. This time, Rocker, as a free kick, it's coming back. It might be a Geelong free. No, the umpire wasn't sure about the advantage. He's going to bring it back to Digby Morrell in the centre of the ground.
Cats pleading their case, falling on deaf ears as Morrell, with now no one behind him. So if Geelong can effect a turnover, they're off to the races. In fact, 33 players now in the Kangaroos half of the ground. Rocket tries to unload. Well, it's going to come off because Shannon Grant's opponent slipped Corey Enright on the chase, and Shannon Grant is going to line up for his second shot at goal this quarter.
If Sav can really lift it, obviously will give him a huge advantage. But the last two kicks Sav's had when he tried to pinpoint a pass, and that one when he went for the big mongrel torpedo, he took 2 steps. I mean, you really got to go back and give yourself an opportunity to kick the ball correctly. And it was just very fortunate that it fell into the arms of his teammate.
Shannon Grant with 9 touches and 4 marks so far. Halfway through the third quarter. Just inside the 50, bending it back beautifully. Learned from his earlier try at a similar location. Shannon Grant the goal, and the Kangaroos are back out by 11 points.
But Grant has lifted since probably, I reckon, halfway through that second quarter. Maybe didn't get a lot of touches in that second quarter, but he got his hand to the footy and set up a few shots for goal. He's a very important player for him, particularly in the way in which Laidley likes to play. He can chip and run as opposed to Pagans where you just bomb it. But he's very important, and Big Sav has really got to come into this game and give him a lift.
Let's head downstairs to Tiffany Cherry.
James Riley has emerged from the race. He just tried to go for a bit of a run, limping quite severely, so could be on and off for him. Mitchell White also looks like he's come off. He's having his calves rubbed. Looks like the heat is starting to play a factor with cramping.
Well, Mitchell hasn't seen an enormous amount of footy, particularly senior footy, over the last couple of years since he's been at Geelong. King winning the tap, charging through Simpson. Ling, good delivery by hand to Stephen King. Linking up now with Joel Corey on the lead, doubling back Johnson. It wasn't the best of kicks. Bit of hesitation among the Cats forwards. Eventually Clark, he put Corey under pressure, who perhaps was tackled without him. In the end, he threw it away. And this Roos defence has just been sensational today. The small defenders, led by Troy Makepeace and Jess Sinclair, they've given them so much rebound.
It has been since they're doing very, very well, but Geelong blokes really given an opportunity by poor passing into the forward line. It really gives the defenders every opportunity, Sinclair, to clear the footy.
There he is again. He's back with another bit more encouragement for the Cats. Coming through Ling, Motlop has time to steady. Harvey's the target, but he may have steadied, but he got nowhere near his target. And Brett Harvey just says, keep it a bit lower, please, Daniel.
In that situation, they're the hardest ones to hit correctly. I mean, you live by the sword, die by the sword. If that came off, it was nice and good. But, I mean, you would have been far prefer to kick it into space and let the blokes run onto it.
Well, the Kangaroos are in attack, and they lead by 11, still looking dangerous. Cats are man on man all over the ground. King with a tap down, and now Geelong, Enright was just going to blast. He thought better of it. He ran his full measure and then some. Gardner's been reintroduced into the game and takes the mark just. Baird doesn't agree with that, but Gardner's got Chapman away to his left. He's still got Chapman now. That moves off. Porter's the extra man back in defence, so he's going to make it more difficult for any leading Geelong play. Kingsley makes his move now. Not a bad lead and not a bad kick. And Kingsley being manned up unlikely fashion there by Sinclair. He swapped with Shannon Watt just for that moment. Now there's a vacant goal square and Kingsley fancies his chances. He gives it everything but misses in the attempt to cover the distance. So often we see that missing away to the left.
It's interesting, Chapman and Makepeace playing on each other. Chapman, I don't think, really mans up that well, so if Makepeace can get a bit of the ball, serve his club well.
What's a superb kick in. Makepeace to David King 50 metres away, and for Sinclair, and suddenly it's already on the wing. Now for Robbins. Good, strong hands in front of Corey. They've worked this ball beautifully downfield. And now another loose man. It's Shannon Grant again. Crowd getting restless. Grant, sensational ball for Clayton. Cats haven't touched it. And it's going to end up with Shane Clayton kicking it goal.
Just Clayton's been a real live wire since he's been on. He's done very well, Clayton.
Started on the bench. Here's the delivery from Shannon Grant. Was shaping to go long and then reacting quickly when he saw the former Lion, both of the Fitzroy and Brisbane variety. And now to try and open up a 16-point lead. It would be the biggest in the game so far. 50 out. Hooks the kick, getting that extra distance, and a discussion between the goal and boundary umpire, and boundary wins out. Chances either way, going begging midway, third term, and the 4 premiership points are well and truly up for grabs.
They're just so vital for both teams. You would think they won't be that far away come the end of the season. And if the Roos could win today, they're away to a 2-and-zip start. And Graham, you would think almost unforgivably, kicks into the man on the mark. Clayton again. Grant had them lining up, and Harvey was the man that he found. A couple of short options on again. Maybe Harvey fancies his chances. He's made excellent contact, but again missing to the left. It's been a pattern for the day. Both sides at both ends. The inaccurate kicking.
Let's hope Ben does a little bit better this time. I reckon if you kick into the man on mark once in your career, it's once too much.
There it is again.
It was good work on the mark by Seth. He really did work him hard though, but you should never ever kick into the bloke in the mark.
Just didn't give himself enough room. Is
Not
that
enough
what it
room.
was?
Should have pushed back a little bit more.
So Ben Graham to bring the ball back into play.
To our broadcast side, long to a contest. King, though, boy, he's worked tirelessly today. The question, will Stephen King have enough petrol in the tank in the last quarter?
Well, that's going to be the big question because he's rucked tirelessly all day today, and those conditions are 22 degrees and fairly bright out there, so he's going to lose a lot of energy.
Kelly away. Gee, not a good one for Riccardi. Sinclair, though, couldn't read it. The bounce favoured Riccardi. Off to Milburn. Cats off to the races. Milburn with Corey with him. Drops the football. Inexplicably so. Roberts knocks it away. A chance goes begging for Geelong. Morrell hurries a kick to the wing. Over the head of Harris. Collision course with King. Harris has got him. King to Sanderson. Good ball for Kelly. Now for Ablett. Will he centre it? Pops it up towards half forward. Working back there, Gardner or Steve Johnson. Colbert the timely fist. Boundary throw-in, 40 around from the Cat goal.
There's nothing much else young Ablett could do. I mean, he was bloke encroaching upon his territory fairly quickly, and he had no forwards leading up the ground.
Key possession winners for the match. Corey and Ling with 17 touches for Geelong. Brent Harvey with 17 for the Kangaroos. Colbert and Sinclair each with 16 possessions. Kelly 14, just 3 this quarter. Boundary throw-in. Colbert had it stripped away. Steve Johnson on the boundary line, and that was more out of hope than expectation, you fancy. Out of bounds on the full. The margin remains 11 points. Shannon Grant's covering some ground here in this third quarter.
Grant's very important for the side, and if he can continue this form, he'll be very, very hard to stop in the last quarter.
Quiet early, getting into the game. Well, Stephen King, we've said enough about him, haven't we? Just a terrific effort, but virtually flying solo here. Goes short. Chapman. Good ball. Still too far out to go. Crowded forward zone. Kingsley on the lead. Chapman spears it to Ablett. Couldn't drag it down. Recovery skills good. 47 out to the top of the square. Ling! Couldn't bring it down, and Colbert. Well, he's a thorn in the Cat's side today as he rushes it through.
Geez, Ablett really made something out of nothing there. That was a great little bit of play.
7-13 up against 9-11. Now the Kangaroos have been in front by about 2 goals for much of the day. And as we've been saying all day, maybe something's got to give, but so far it hasn't. And the Roos, with this little chipping style, have been able to control the ball out of defence. They've been able to create loose men. It's when Geelong have been able to just hold them up in the back pocket that they've put some pressure on, and that's what they've been able to do here. Wells trying to discern an appropriate target. Goes for a big pack, and Brown and Motlop on the wing. Likely leap. Again, some hesitation before Enright blasted away. Rawlings from behind Riccardi. Ablett was where he should be. King, who's been quiet today, of the Kangaroo variety, wrapped up again. Ling with a quick kick. Makepeace on his own, as he has been for much of the day. Slides into the mark again. And the Kangaroos, once again, will try and run this out of defence. Harding was a long target, and it was a great kick. In the end, he took the mark okay. Looks up, has Motlop pushing for him and presenting. Johnson to try and spoil, couldn't do that. Again, he looks up, Rocker makes his lead. Scarlett with him. Morrell and Graham also across the centre-half forward area. Going short for Sinclair, who just can't get enough of the footy at the moment, and Rocker takes it. Now, on a great day, Sav Rocker would almost think about going for this. Instead, he goes for a well-directed pass to Shane Clayton, who left the footy behind. Sanderson, and now it's the Cats' turn to try and rebound, but there was nothing for him. I reckon it's mistaken identity there. I reckon he kicked it to Makepeace. This is the alternate strip, but it's still a lot of blue and white.
Yep, Makepeace switches, 2-on-1. Roos with numbers, Brown. letting it go over his head, will take on King because King's fatigued like you wouldn't believe, but he did well to knock it away from Brown's grasp, and Riccardi gives it on. Kingsley, open forward line. Steve Johnson will take this and go all the way, you'd think. It sits for him. Steve Johnson to finish, and he does! No! It shaved the goalpost. It's not their day. It looked for all the world as though it was going to be home. He could have run another step, but the Cats move to 7 goals, 14 now, and another golden chance. Russ goes begging.
Yeah, look, it's in the context of the game, you just must kick those goals because you might only have to kick 12 or 13 to win it.
Corey with important fingertips on that one, and it's over the line. Once again, Sinclair was the man on the way out. Let's have another look at this.
Could have gone another couple of steps, and it looked home.
Oh.
Boy, another coat of paint there, and I reckon...
Can we get the snickometer?
Well,
do we have the technology?
Gee whiz. They don't get a lot closer than that, do they?
Free kick going Geelong's way to Stephen King. Cameron Ling's back in the goal square. Big Steve King, he's got Gardner down there. Kelly makes a lead. He goes for Kelly. Gee, it was a good kick. It was a really good kick. And James Kelly, who missed one earlier right on the quarter-time siren, haven't they all today? He doesn't look like he wants to have a shot at all.
And finally, Hutto, the change coming up. I've been watching Stephen King as we have another look at the Kelly mark. He's fatigued. He's coming off the ground.
Kelly got close to the man on the mark. He was worried about the kick, but why worry? He's kicked the goal. And the Cats come again.
Well, that was a great kick initially by King to set up. It was a good, hard lead. And Kelly taking the ball truly and kicking truly. Obviously, he's learned from his mistake before. Kicking must aim for that left-hand side of the goalpost to bring the ball through. And as we spoke, the big fella's King's off the ground, and we just hope that he's okay because he's their most important player by a mile.
Big Ben Graham has gone into the ruck.
Well, it's been a quiet day for Graham. Hasn't been for James Kelly. 15 disposals and a 1-goal 3. Come on, Catters, the call that time, Hutto.
Bit of variety, we like that.
3 points in it. We've got a ball game live and exclusive, uninterrupted on Fox Footy. As Wells paddles it out of the centre square. He might lift the Kangaroos. 55 out, long ball. Might lock the target, couldn't bring it down. Here's Harding. He can find his way out of the pack. Steadies, kicks, hooks it. Another poster.
I watched him play last week, and he should have fed the ball off then. I'm not quite sure who was in front of him, but I tell you, it's just unforgivable with a big U-turn and hit the post. I mean, if you kick a goal, well and good, but if you don't, I mean, it's unforgivable. And that should have been laid down as there for the Roos.
He's so explosive, Harding. Not sure who Riccardi was trying to kick that to, but the man he found was David King. And he is with a little bit of breeze behind him, which the flags would indicate. Not without a chance from here. The Kangaroos leading by 4, and they've been able to answer every Geelong challenge so far today, albeit by stealth, as both teams have had a lot of trouble in front of the goals. This one is set up for the Breeze to take it. It's coming back. It's coming back. No mark. Motlop try kicking a goal from there. I think the task beyond everyone. Another rushed behind goes on the board.
So that Motlop has got an unbelievable vertical jump. It's very exciting.
Melbourne to bring it back into play. The Kangaroos lead a tenuous 5 points. Less than 2 minutes to play in the third. Tension building at Skilled Stadium. Melbourne forced just to squeeze it out. And Scarlett's got it. Deep in his defensive zone. And a risky ball. Rocker trying to knock it away from Corey. This is Stevens. Was he pushed in the back? No. We'll have a bounce. Half forward for the Kangaroos. Geelong this quarter, 2 goals 4. The Kangaroos with 1 goal 6. Crowd getting involved. Now can Graham lift in the ruck for Geelong? Doesn't need to here. Corey. Stevens tied up by Corey. Gets a little kick away. That will stop the clock and force another boundary throw in. Who will break this game open? The bench for the Roos, some experience with Simpson and Porter. The young live wire in Petrie. Rocker and Graham. Rocker, clever. David King sits for him in game 200 from the boundary line. Goes for home. David King, you are a star!
And all the blokes who've missed from the set shots, probably the hardest shot anyone's had today, David King has threaded it through. Unbelievable kick.
Toughest kick of the day there, no question about that. He's been quiet all afternoon, but when it matters most, following the hit out from Sam Rocker, David King was there to ride it home. And Hutto, there's that celebration that we know and love.
We've seen that a lot over the 200 games, and he's muttered the odd word or two to opponents over the journey as well. But he gets some encouragement in the ears that time from the runner, and some congratulations, because that was a game-breaking type of goal. And the Cats, I was just thinking, would be just hoping to not to concede a goal before three-quarter time with Graham in the ruck and King off the ground, as Rocker in the ruck against Graham wins it in right. But now the Cats will be desperate to get one back, and they might get a chance here. Riccardi, Kelly leads again to the pocket, but it'll be lucky to clear Baird. It did. Kelly, the big arc. Oh, he got himself into some trouble. He's been smothered again, and maybe it's the Roos that can go forward. Fantastic tackle to dispossess Stevens. Graham hurried off the left boot. Ablett again, mismatch in height. And this time Makepeace with the run and the momentum takes the grab, and there's 30 seconds, and maybe the Roos can add another one before the break. Clayton was the target, and he found him cleverly. Motlop leads to the left. Shannon Grant to the right. He goes shorter for Morrell, and still they hold it. 15 seconds remaining. Morrell needs a mark. He might get one here. What a kick this is going to be for Lee Harding. What an important kick for Lee Harding. With 7 seconds remaining, the umpire has blown time on, but the siren will probably sound just about as he comes into kick.
In the context of the game, if he kicks this and if Geelong's inability to convert, really might put one or two nails in their coffin.
So Russell prepared to write Geelong off.
No, but I mean, if
right
you
on the
in the
three-quarter
context,
time siren.
Now we'll say it, Russ, if he kicks the goal, are Geelong gone?
Well, no, I don't think they're gone, but it's going to make it very difficult for them.
He passes
to
it.
Oh, and the siren sounds. And Brent Harvey doesn't know the siren sound, and he's just kicked a great left foot goal, but the umpire knows now. And Lee Harding ruining his decision. He's been listening to Russell Green, who said, pass it off, Lee Harding. He passes it, and he doesn't even find his man, Russ.
Game still on here at Skilled Stadium, live around Australia on Fox Footy. Stay with us. The Kangaroos by 11 points with 1 quarter to go. Final quarter coming up, 11 points. The Kangaroos lead straight down to Tiffany Cherry.
Ellen, a lot of the players seem fairly fatigued. Do you think they've got enough left in the tank for the final quarter?
Look, I think both teams have worked pretty hard to this stage of the game. We've had a number of boys who've played either roles forward or back for us, and we believe that we've got the legs to come over the top of the end. We just need the first goal to get the crowd behind us.
James Riley came off with an ankle. Will we see him back?
Look, he's available if we need him, so we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, best of luck.
Alan McConnell down with Tiff. Hope that wasn't all their hinging, hanging their hats on. Final term, Kangaroos by 11 points, heading to the right of screen. And King's back in the ruck, which is good news, but Porter wins it down for the Kangaroos. Fresh air shot by Corey, good follow-up. Riccardi gets the kick away in time. Good smother, though, by Robbins. Clayton takes it, tumbles one inside 50. Excellent fist by Harding. Will it stay in for Petrie? Wobbling near the line. He'll keep it in just, although under pressure from Graham. It's over for a boundary throw-in. Half forward for the Kangaroos. What's the big key here, Russ?
That was great play by Harding then. I mean, there's nothing worse. The defenders really hate it when the ball's alive and inside 50 and it's bouncing all over the place. If you can't take control of it, at least keep it moving.
King and Porter to contest. A wrestle, ugly looking one. Porter down for Robbins, trying to get it to David King. Feeds Harvey. High ball to the hot spot at the top of the square. Some marking targets there. Over the top, Brown. Man in front must be paid. And it is just that. And now, which way will Big Ben go? Graham will go short, David Johnson. Inside the defensive 50. We know this crowd will really get involved if they get the opening goal. That makes Rook wait. Fortunately keeps his feet and gets a free against Motlop, and a late advantage play on call for Riccardi to Kingsley. Pressured by what was good. Rock at the handle over the top, and the Kangaroos can go. Stevens from the outer wing. Petrie's got the set the fly and gives away a free kick. The umpire was a long way off the pace with the call. Petrie disputing it, but for mine, Russ, no question about that.
No question whatsoever. When you can't put your hands on someone's shoulders and get an elevation like that, you've got to jump, use their backs and so forth, but you can't place your hands on their backs.
Corey Enright, one of the Cats' highest possession winners today with 16. Corey and Ling both have 18 possessions. Kelly 16, King 15 for Geelong. We'll check the Kangaroos in a moment as the kick goes out to the wing. Big Stephen couldn't stop it. Clayton just left it behind and the ball over and out. Clayton's had a bit of it himself, 13 touches for the Roos, but Sinclair, 18 possessions, 9 marks coming out of defence, all uncontested. Harvey 17, 16 for Lee Colbert in his return to Kardinia Park. Stevens 14 and Clayton, as I mentioned, along with Simpson on 13 touches. Here's Ablett, who's been busy, as we said. Riccardi with a short kick. Stephen Johnson is the target. He takes it okay. Looks around. The lead comes out of the square. Oh, again, the Cats, terrible disposal into attack.
I reckon that's about the 7th or 8th time they've chipped it short in there, and it's just too hard if the spots are all filled by North Melbourne defenders.
Now, Matthew Scarlett has gone to full forward for Geelong. He's just led away to half forward at the moment. Gurgic is on rocker at the other end of the ground, and that is a very interesting move.
Scarlett with 7 goals in his 71-game AFL career.
But I think did start as a junior did play a bit of footy as a forward as a junior.
This is Ben Graham. Simpson with the tackle. Ling likewise harassed. And we'll have a boundary throw in. The natives getting a fraction restless. Kangaroos leading by 11 points. Enright, no doubt itching to get back out into the fray. Porter dives for it, couldn't get there. Rook went off the ground. Milburn and Brown. Milburn keeps it in for Chapman. Back for Milburn. Geelong catch a break. Spriggs now. Got it. Too far out to score. Hand pass for Cameron Ling. On the run from 50. Wobbly ball towards Scarlett. Off hands and behind.
They just find it hard to nail a goal, but that was excellent play by Spriggs to give it, feed it off to Ling, but unfortunately the ball didn't carry far enough.
So Makepeace with the ball at full back, as he's done for most times today for the Kangaroos. He's the man charged with bringing it back, and he's gone to a one-on-one. Harvey gets away, won't get a great bounce here, but it's good enough. He goes for the line, happy with a 50-50 result from the kick in. The Kangaroos have at least cleared the danger area.
How is Russell's tipping going on Fox Footy League teams? I know as we have a look at Railway disappear again.
Actually going better than mine. Russell got 4 in the first round, and I got 3.
Okay, so I won't ask him for his selection at the moment with 17 minutes to play.
Well, he tipped Hawthorn for the first time, against Hawthorn this time for the first weekend. Not sure the result of that game yet. I was looking away, of course, earlier on. Here's Stevens, up to centre half forward. Graham one-on-one with Petrie. Graham read it well. Petrie competed well. Harding just, his legs sometimes work faster than his brain, and he left the ball over the line. The
thing about Petrie then, look, if he's not going to mark it, he's certainly going to bring the ball to the ground, and that's where the crummers have got to be. Unfortunately, Harding wasn't able to gather it because he was moving about 5,000 miles an hour.
King with the tap, Riccardi, Ling, Simpson. Good tackling from Rook, terrific tackling. And David King taken over the line and out of bounds.
It's been a game where there's been a huge amount of physical first and second efforts, but it's also been highlighted by the inability to convert goals. So whoever converts over the next 10 or 15 minutes is going to have a huge advantage.
Yes, 18 goals, 28 behind's our cumulative tally as Robbins feeds Anthony Stevens towards half forward. Graham read it better than Petrie, couldn't control it. Chapman goes to ground. This is Graham into traffic. Brown the tackle, Graham. Good poise. Milburn, Sanderson. They can run it out of defence. Good ball for Ling in the middle. This is impressive. Ling away. Whoops. Ran into trouble. Handball for Mitchell White. Pops it to full forward. Scarlett in front. Now the ball goes past him. Just a little carry with the breeze there, and the Roos go out wide for Harvey. And just in the nick of time, Brent Harvey takes the mark with the boundary line looming. That was a good chance.
It was. I just can't understand why Ling went laterally then. He should have just gone long and hard. He can really penetrate with his feet skills.
Colbert, the man who was captain here back in 1999 but did not play a game due to that knee injury. Kicking down the line. Target is Rocker in front. Roving Corey. Caught. Robbins the tackle. Milburn for David Johnson. High floating ball. Tough one to mark this. Colbert gets rid of White. And Colbert's going to earn a free kick. He's played well. And he's got it on the outer wing for the Kangaroos, leading by 10 points.
Well, Sav's just got to work a little. He's in between play here. He can't get the footy one way or the other, a short one or a long one. He's just got to work a little bit hard in what he does, because if he can, he'll give him a huge lift.
That showed umpire James wasn't afraid of the crowd, didn't it? Paying a free kick against a 2-Lee Colbert on the outer side.
Near the Premier.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Steve thought of the free kick, but anyway, here's Sinclair's kick. He's had 19 possessions for the day. Porter was the target that time. Good defence again. The Geelong defence has stood up pretty well, particularly in this quarter. Up to the wing, Mitchell White was the target, but Stevens coming into the game. They'll have to work overtime now, the Geelong defence. Harvey's got it again into the pocket, and David King can really hurt the Cats here. The margin is 10. We've seen how difficult it is at that end to kick goals, but this certainly not beyond David King, who slotted one from the boundary line earlier.
Just prior to King going to have a shot for goal. I mean, Porter contested that ball at centre-half forward, and that's Sav's job. He's got a hard enough job running around with King, Stephen King. Sav has really got to present himself. If he can't, he should get off the ground.
The biggest lead of the day, 12. So a goal here would make it 16. And would probably have Russell riding Geelong off again.
Maybe.
Here's David King. He's taken an eternity to get ready. It want to be a good kick after all this time. You can see the task ahead of him from the reverse angle. It's a great looking kick. Oh, what a kick from David King. And he might be celebrating long and hard tonight. If the Kangaroos could do it in game number 200. Mightn't have had many touches, but boy, 2 of them have counted. He's had 9 disposals for the day, but 2 very vital goals as Rocker comes off the ground and Morrell comes back for the Roos.
So that's a great move. It was a tremendous kick by David King. He'll really savour that one. But the one with Morrell coming back on, at least he will run, chase, tackle, and hopefully kick a couple of goals. Maybe Savos, maybe a bit hard, but he's on the phone now, being spoken to by Dean Laidley. When he goes back on the ground, he's just got to present and really work his backside off.
Biggest lead of the afternoon is right now. Onus on Geelong to avoid going to an 0-2 start to the season with Collingwood to come. Harvey for Robbins. The Roos will get the centre break. Loose man on the wing is Simpson. Lost it in the sunlight. Has time to steady. Bounce was kind. On the right foot for Motlop. Goes to ground. Ball at the back. Morrell with fresh legs. Quick. Gurgic quicken. Johnson. David for Ablett at half back. For Corey. Takes the mark, Ablett keeps on running. Dinky little kick, Corey for Ling. For Sanderson. Spears the pass for Kelly, makes him work. Good use of the body, make peace. Doubling back, Sinclair. Lost control. Kept his feet though. Robbins. Free kick, advantage play on. Stevens. One more, should do it. Stevens for Porter. Was that the required distance? Yes. Less than 13 minutes to go. Kangaroos steadying things down now. Porter taking his time. Harvey's about to run alongside and call for it. Porter will bomb it long to a contest deep inside 50. Geelong should have it. Graham. Wrong end of the field for the Cats. They trail by 16 points.
Grant's back onto the ground for Motlop.
Still plenty of time for the Cats, but they better get the next one. That's great delivery on the way out for the Cats. Chapman could go short to Ablett. All the leads had come early, and by the time Chapman goes back to take his kick, there's not much movement for him. Kingsley over the top. Haven't seen him for a while. He's had to go long and far to get his kicks there. In the end, a proppy little one will be okay. The loose man, not there for the Cats. Oh, Johnson, Makepeace, didn't give away 50. Scarlett, well played. Scarlett just couldn't break the bad tackle. And Sinclair again. has been the nemesis for the Cats. Kicks it out to halfback. Tough one for Shannon Grant to control, but he does it well. Around the corner, the experienced Roos combining. King shrugging the tackle, puts it on centre wing. A battle between Gurgic and Morrell. Under pressure, Gurgic. Morrell did well, Gurgic. Corey, they're not out of it yet. Now they might be. Or Gurgic. Back he went to Corey. And now to Ling. Is it over? No, it's not. He's got an eternity to pick it up. He's done an ankle or something. He goes short. He's hurt himself. He hurt himself in pre-season, Ling. His day could be over. The Cats, hopefully not, they would say, as Riccardi takes the mark just outside 50, and Cameron Ling is coming from the ground.
What drama, Hunter?
He knew he'd done something straight away too. Peter Riccardi, 2 goals straight, his kick for the day. We know that he's pretty good at late last quarter goals when it counts for the Cats. This would be an absolute ripper though. It was beyond him, or behind. So Ling comes from the ground, and the Cats, an almost insurmountable task now.
There's the situation for Ling, and when he got back on, he thought, oh no, I just can't go on with it. Meanwhile, Kangaroos bring it out through Simpson to the attacking side of the outer wing. The kick will drift to half forward. Morrell and Gurgic near the line, and it's over for a boundary throw. And in the rucking situation, interesting, Russ as well. Stephen King, as he tires, is being beaten comprehensively in the ruck.
I mean,
in this final quarter, 5 hit-outs to none in favour of Porter.
You have a look at all the top sides. You've got 2 blokes they can throw around, give each other a bit of a rest. But a good move. Motlop's come back off the ground, onto the ground, and Petrie has come off. So that's going to cause a few concerns if they can get it up there very quickly.
Chapman takes them on, forces it out. King, Rook. Important ball to be won here. Corey near the line. Well done. Ablett, can he get away? Hurries a kick to half forward. Steve Johnson. The fist by Rawlings. And with the boundary throw in, we'll check in with Tiff.
Looks like Cameron Ling has cramp in his right calf. That's all it looks like. He's just getting his right calf massaged.
Thanks, Tiff. Halfway through the final term. The Cats in a 15-point hole. And at the moment, not giving the impression that they're going to break through up forward. King in front. Ablett. Crunch into Robbins. Robbins a tough nut there, forces a bounce on the outer wing.
But if they've got to kick, they've got to win the game, they've got to kick the goals. Wouldn't be a bad idea, maybe just chuck Ben Graham up forward, because he's Lambert back there, so maybe try something to push him up the go, because they've got to kick goals. They've got to kick 4 or 5.
Confirmation there of the hit-outs this quarter, 5-0. Simpson winning it down. Chapman shoveling it out. Cats got to go hard at it. Be creative like that, perhaps. Kangaroos, they win the all-important footy. And now Clayton finds himself in space. 2 bounces. Delivers to half forward on the lead. Morrell with courage. Milburn, good fist. Brown, can he mop up? Rook tried to trap it in. David King off the ground. Very effective. Grant in the pocket. Overruns it. Sanderson back there, good. Finds Ben Graham. Geelong to rebound now. Graham finds Gardner.
He's got Ablett through the centre of the ground. Has to be precise. And is. But the Roos have been able to just hold up the Cats' momentum here. Ablett hesitation again. Uses Rook. How's his delivery this time, Jared Rook? It's not bad, but not quite good enough for Riccardi. No free kick. And again, the Kangaroos can go from half-back. Harvey goes for the line, and his kick is absolutely perfect. And the margin remains 15, and the Cats are quickly running out of time.
You live by the sword, you die by it. If you hit the spot, well and good. But too many times, I reckon, at least a dozen times have gone inside 50 like that today.
King uses the body that time, but again, the Kangaroos winning the clearances. They're doing that pretty well at the moment in this last quarter, and seem to be the team with the most left in the tank. Harvey never gives up. Off to David King. Can he make it 3 of the best for the day? He goes for the pass instead, unselfishly sharing it with Lee Brown. And David King, well, 2 goals and 1 goal assist will be enough to win the game, you would think, for the Kangaroos.
Man, that was great vision. Kingy, the way in which he's been kicking today, he could have maybe had a shot and drilled it, but he's a team-orientated play, saw his mate there, passed it across, and hopefully young Brown can kick truly, and actually Anthony might put 3 or 4 nails in the coffin, I'd say.
They're gone. They're gone now.
Big coffin.
are gone as Brown kicks the goal. Russell Green says the Cats are finished for the day. While there is still time, they just don't look like they're able to kick goals, and the small fleet of the Kangaroos have been outstanding today.
They've really lifted, particularly since halfway through the second quarter. But too many times, the Cats go inside 50 or towards inside 50, and they've just chipped or short passed to a 50-50, and that just, unless it's position, if it's position you can get away with it, well and good. But if you've got 3 or 4 Roos boys there on top of you, it's going to make it very, very difficult.
The less confident of the faithful filing out past Mark Thompson. No confidence. 22,588 the official attendance today. Kangaroos by 21. Can the Cats fight back? Chapman with the clearance. Long ball. Sinclair again. He has been terrific. So's Coleman. They have been wonderful down back. Watt targets Clayton. Finds him. The Kangaroos have lost just once at this ground since 1990. 6 matches encompassing that, the 7th today. Rawlings to half forward. Don't write Geelong off just yet. We know how games can turn. Graham has it on half back. They need 4 goals in 7 minutes of playing time. Graham makes his teammate Johnson work. Wells drags him off it illegally. Advantage play on. This is Ablett from centre half back. Wells closing. Wells closing. Ablett caught. Got the handball for White. Look out. Spriggs is gone. Kangaroo tackling fantastic. And they've won the footy again. Makepeace goes short. Wells the target. Can he trap it on 50? Motlop. Oh, look at him dance. Wells to the pocket. Morrell fighting. Gurging over his shoulder. Morrell creative. Cats Consuda behind. The margin 22 points.
If they are direct, there is a chance they can certainly kick 3 or 4 goals in 6 or 7 minutes. But they've got to be a lot more direct and kick it long and hard, direct up the centre.
Ablett quick, Wells quicker.
Scarlett on the bench now for the Cats as they continue to make changes to try and get some sort of structure. They just can't get the ball cleanly to each other on the way out of defence and into attack. It has been a miserable afternoon in the end, unless there can be a dramatic turnaround. That's a lucky bounce. Corey keeps it in, didn't have much in support, just gets his target Gardner with the gully catch. He's got Riccardi coming out of the square now. He might chance his arm. No, he goes for a pass into the man of the mark again. Joel Corey does the arc. Oh, and then he's gone. Just gets it back to Clark. He has to handball to Ablett. Ablett's surrounded by Roos. Brilliant work by the Kangaroos. Riccardi, nowhere to go. The crowd want to jump the fence. They are so frustrated. Over the top, Johnson. And eventually the umpire forced to bounce the ball.
Pressure applied by the Roos has been exceptional in this last quarter. And also, they just did 2 minds each time they go forward. When they feed the ball off, they generally give it to someone in a worse position. And we all know what happens when you give it to someone in a worse position.
So the Cats in front in centre breaks, but behind on the scoreboard, 86-64. Can they manufacture a goal out of this contest? The Roos will love this. Another ball up, and the clock continues to tick.
Full credit for Dean Laidley and his coaching staff here. Most things they've tried have worked. David King, quiet in the first half, came off the ground, played time in the second significantly, and has been terrific. Brady Rawlings comes up with a free kick. No one on the mark. Are the Geelong players paying attention? Makepeace to run it out of defence. Cats are going to be zipped too, you think, with Collingwood to come. Grant on the outer wing. 5 minutes to play. To Sinclair. And takes them on. Goes to ground. Gets rid of it. Brown is there. They seem to have so much time. Shannon Grant for the exclamation point on the victory. Goes for home across the face. Still, 4 goals would win it for the Cats.
They deserve better because Shannon Grant absolutely worked his backside off to get up there. Unfortunately, he didn't kick truly, but he certainly has lifted his work rate since halfway through that second quarter.
Oh, boy, some of the skills of the Cats today made their teammates work, haven't they? Bringing it out now. David Johnson finds Chapman. Defensive side of the wing. 4.5 to go. Now's the time, surely. Drive it long. Find a target. Well, he drove it long. The target was Petrie sitting out of bounds. Kangaroos with 39 tackles today. They've won that department.
Well, this defence has just been wonderful today. Baird's been part of that. Out to Brown. As the locals stream out of Skilled Stadium. Harvey's going to get in front, but good late effort from Spriggs. Not good enough to stop Shannon Grant pantsing. And the Roos are trying to keep the Cats in the game.
He must be pretty well fatigued by this stage now, Shannon Grant, because he has worked exceptionally hard the last 2.5 quarters, and that's just bread and butter. He should have nailed that one.
So still the margin is an even 4 goals. And if the Cats keep 4 goals, they might get a tie.
Well, they might, Anthony. It depends if the Kangaroos score. No wonder Barty has a go at you on Thursday nights.
Geelong get the break here for Ablett. Now they can go long and direct. And can Kingsley take a mark? Yes, sir. Go back, slam it through, and it's 3 goals the difference. He's taking his time. Is he going to have a runner? No, there's no one alongside. Kent Kingsley just the 1 first quarter goal today. Security guards beginning to ring the arena. The spectators who have reached the top of the concourse just loitering for a moment, glancing over their shoulder to have a look at the outcome of this kick. Kingsley from 50, on its way, missing to the near side, and they stick the thermos under the arm and say we'll be back in a fortnight.
Yes, well, Ling back on the ground for the Cats. One bit of good news. Kangaroo fans who have got the pleasant trip down the highway now back to Melbourne, as it is these days, will be feeling well satisfied. I'm sure they'll stay to the end to congratulate their full team, but particularly pay tribute to David King and Sav Rocker for 200 games.
Don't know who's going to cheer them off, though, if there's anyone big enough outside of Mark Porter.
That's right. Up to the wing, huge pack of players. Harris, the man most likely, spills it. Corey, who's tried hard for the Cats today. Morrell, another possession coming up for Harvey. Has the audacity to have a bounce and then another. Indulges in a handball to his teammate. Strolling into goal, Anthony Stevens to finish them off. Once and for all. Full points to Anthony Stevens and full points for the Kangaroos.
Russell speechless.
No, that was a great piece of play by Harvey. I mean, explosive pace. Morrell working hard since he's come back on, as he always does. Feigned the handball. Really took Spriggs on over the top to the skipper, and so many times the skipper's fed the ball off to other blokes running an open goal. Well-deserved goal, Anthony Stevens.
Where's this going to leave Geelong for the season? I know it's only 2 rounds in, Russell, but a match at home against another team that's going to be mid-range, you would think that they would really be putting this one in as a one they need to win.
You would have thought so, Anthony.
Certainly, it's a lopsided contest, isn't it? 29 points the margin as Geelong get the centre clearance again, but again it's fruitless. We'll have a bounce, centre half forward with a shade over 2 minutes remaining. The Kangaroos to improve to 2-0, and suddenly Telstra Dome next Saturday night becomes enticing as they take on the reigning Premier Brisbane. They played a good one either last year or the year before at the Telstra Dome on a Saturday night. Geelong work it inside 50. Ling outnumbered. Simpson to Sinclair. He'll be amongst the boat shed. Fancy Sinclair.
What people forget this year in all the pre-season predictions is the Kangaroos made the 8 last year. They lost Wayne Carroll. He didn't play anyway last year. Pickett was their main loss, and they've been able to gain a couple of really good young players, as well as Lee Brown from Fremantle.
Their greatest strength is just their evenness, completely all over. And the resolve they have, they just never know when to lay down. They just keep going and going.
That old chin boner spirit coming to the fore this afternoon as Clayton drives to half forward. Harvey wanted to get on the highlight reel by taking a specky. Can't do so. Enright in the middle now. Geelong goalless since time on in the 3rd term. Mitchell White attacking side of the wing. Drops it off towards full forward. And, well, I couldn't tell you the target. Well, that person's getting vocal now, Hutto. Come on, Katz is out the window and he's starting to tee off on his home team. Kelly for Enright, going short. This is Clark, and the delivery inside 50. Well, again, made Corey wait. Stevens to spoil. Corey, good recovery. High snap at goal, and some cosmetic touch there to an ugly-looking scoreboard for Geelong. The margin's back to 23 points. Joel Corey
will get his name in the paper tomorrow as a goal kicker.
Too few, too late. I mean, that was a difficult kick, but it was executed correctly. But too often, I reckon, when Bomber goes through his positive and negatives, there will be about 3 hours of negatives where they've just brought the ball into inside 50, and just short passes, just 3 hours out.
3 hours of negatives. The game doesn't last that long.
No, they warmed up incorrectly. Ran through the banner the wrong way. Taped up badly.
They did something, that's for sure, before the game, because I'm sure Bomber Thompson and the coaching staff will be very disappointed with the result today. The way the Cats have gone about it. 9-17. 9-17 is a good indication of their general kicking, though, isn't it? It hasn't just been their shots at goal. Here's Clayton. We did see the umpire bring it back last week, didn't we? Umpire Humphrey Smith.
Yeah. And then it promptly bounced it shocking again and didn't call it back.
Oh dear, 23 points the margin. Could be the final margin. We've got just 25 seconds to go. The Roos perhaps can add to the day. Simpson, the unlikely ruckman, and Rover too, as it turned out, into Digby Morrell, off to Wells to cap off the day. Goes for a short pass. It wasn't a great one. You wouldn't say that one would go in the excitement machine back. Just thought I could slip it in one more time for the day as Corey goes for Gardner, and Gardner takes it, and this might be the last possession of the day. And it won't be on the positive or the negative tape, I don't think. But plenty of positives for Dean Laidley, as Paul Hamilton, his assistant coach, stands to his feet. Lee Coleman claps the Kangaroo fans that have made the trip down the highway. What a wonderful result for the Kangaroos, and a great result for a couple of shin boners. One of them in particular, David King, who's played all of his 200 games with the Kangaroos, and Sav Rocker, who had a great career with Collingwood before it was cut down with injury. 156 games with the Magpies, has been a very good player here in the last couple of years. And they celebrate their 200th in the best possible way with a convincing win which set the Kangaroos on towards greater things for the year, perhaps, led by that man Anthony Stevens. The final scores: the Kangaroos 13-16-94, Geelong disappointingly at home 9-17-71.
Yes, a terrific result for the visitors. They're going to go home happy, and so's this man, the milestone man with Tiff.
Well, David, you didn't play that fantastically, but you have to say it was a great finish for you and Sav.
Oh, look, it was always good to win down here. We knew we were going to be up against it, and a young side that work hard, and we had our work cut out for us today, but I played terribly, but the boys did really well, so it was a great win.
Oh, you had 2 goals and you set up one the last quarter.
Oh, yeah, but that's all I can take out of it, though.
What do you guys have ownership of this ground? You haven't lost here since you debuted in '94.
Yeah, there's been different circumstances every time. I think that, we just want some respect in the footy world, and the only way you can do that's by winning.
Big night of celebration?
Oh, not really. We got Brisbane next week, so we've got to settle down, have a quiet night with the family.
We'll enjoy it. Well done, Dave.
Good on him.
Good on him. David King with Tiffany Cherry on the occasion of his 200th game, and they are going to try. Oh, this is ambitious. Simpson and Shannon Grant will share the back page with Sav Rocker. David King's coming in to share the honour as well. Severio Rocker with 156 of those 200 games at Collingwood. And now at the Kangaroos, 99 goals and 44 games, and Mark Porter is involved along with Lee Brown. Great stuff. You love seeing milestone matches rewarded.
Oh, you do, and I can tell you on a personal note that you really do remember them, and you really do cherish them, and particularly to come down here to Cardinia Park, Shell Stadium, and have a victory is absolutely sensational for both these blokes. King, all 200 games at the Kangaroos, and Sab has really pulled his weight since he's come across from Collingwood.
We will come back with all of the celebrations and emotions from the victorious Kangaroo Rooms. It was an arm wrestle for 3 quarters, but in the end the Kangaroos claimed the points. 23 points the margin here at Geelong.